Hello, everybody. I am Goldilocks. We are back for the third live today. That's fucking crazy, okay? I'm not used to this. This is not normal. I do have a day job, so this is not something I can do all the time. This is not something I can do all the time. But we are back, and this time it is our Wednesday panel live. So if you want up, come on up. And we will get a panel up here, an actual panel. If you are friendly, you are welcome to get up and stay up. And we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, we do still need Trump supporters to talk to us about what's happening and why they support Trump. Because that's what we're here for. We want to hear from you so that we can see how delusional you are, in fact. Because the limits of your delusion honestly know no bounds.
Hello.
Luca, how's it going?
It's not a bad day. I actually had my own couple political lives, and we had semi-decent conversations.
Hell yeah.
There were a few things that I wanted to kind of clear up on whether or not they were factual or not. You had the individual that was up here that was specifically talking about, you know what, I'm going to be honest. I can't remember if it was my live or your live specifically that was talking about the Connecticut age limit when it came to gender affirming care.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, they do not have an age limit or specific ban on gender affirming care in Connecticut, but I did look into it farther. The majority of individuals that do get gender affirming care are anywhere from 8 to 10 years old when it comes to specific hormonal, hormone blockers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so nothing is specifically banned when it comes to anything of that nature. But literally across the board throughout the nation, it is 18 years old when it comes to actual surgery-based gender affirming care. I wanted to make sure that was a actual fact that is put out there.
Yeah, that was definitely my claim. There is gender affirming care for children, but definitely not surgeries.
Yeah, definitely not surgeries, and I want to make it clear for anybody that is listening in on that. There was an individual that was specifically talking about Obama wanting to close Guantanamo Bay. That was specifically on my live. Yes, he did want to specifically close Guantanamo Bay, but that was due to the fact that it was not okay things such as waterboarding and etc. that was happening in that type of realm, and he was blocked due to the Senate and House are specifically blocking him on that. Kamala Harris, when it comes to her being a prosecutor on drug convictions, specifically on the fact that she was targeting African Americans, that has not been proven in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean that's just the actual law enforcement system, if anything.
Well, but there was this individual that was specifically stating that she was targeting African Americans. That is not proven in any way, shape, or form. An individual was sitting there saying that the World Health Organization was trying to target individuals when it came to C-19. That is not proven. The Trump Vance January 6th tweet, specifically calling out, what was it? Pence, there was a very distinct realm when it came to him targeting Pence, saying that he didn't do his job. That was factual. Trump did admit in 2020 that the election was lost by a whisker. What is the other one? Ruben. I'm gonna butcher this name. Ruben Gallego. Him saying that he was above 6 foot is not true. He's like 5'9". So anyway, there's a lot of things that I had to fucking go through today when it came to fact checking shit.
Right. Fair. Jen, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me up.
Yeah. Good to have you. We need some Trump supporters, okay? We need some Trump supporters to tell us why they're voting for Trump. Please get up here. We want to talk to you. Matt says Dems are Ukrainian patriots. We have Maddie. Maddie's gonna be the first. Oh, this is great. Maddie, we love you. How are you doing?
Freedom. I can't move. Freedom,
Maddie, how are you doing?
Freedom, I can't move.
Maddie's just a staple. How are you doing, Maddie?
Hey, this isn't Pickles, right?
No. This is Goldilocks.
Have you ever got that? Like,
thank you for thinking that. That's actually an honor. Pickles is definitely a step ahead of me in this game right now. So.
See, you do kind of look like him with longer hair.
Yeah, I feel that.
Okay. Guys.
Well, Maddie, for the sake of the usual thing, how old are you?
2-3.
And what are your pronouns?
Him.
And who are you voting for?
Him.
How can you do that?
Well, I mean, you guys talk about this big AB issue. Like, why isn't Biden fixing that shit now? Like,
well, there was nothing to fix. There was nothing to fix until Trump.
Fix it?
There was nothing to fix until Trump's Supreme Court got it repealed.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Are you expecting her to fix it?
I'm expecting her to actually push for legislation. Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't she push it through Biden right now? The last 4 years, she's just running on it.
Okay, Maddie, are you in the bath?
No, I'm actually doing some dishes, but
nice.
But I'll turn off the sink.
Maddie, you understand how the SCOTUS works, right?
SCOTUS.
I asked a question, so you sitting there and saying SCOTUS over and over again is kind of proving that you're fucking intellectual.
Of the United States Secretary.
No, that's not what it is.
Supreme Court
of the United States.
Do you know what market equilibrium is?
I do, but I did.
Okay, cool. Do you know what the cubed root of 27 is?
Shut the fuck up for a second.
Well, you're asking me stupid. Are you smarter than a fifth?
I asked you a question fucking first.
What's the cube root of 27?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Shut up.
It's 3.
Good job. Good.
Why do we need to, Maddie, why do we need to know that?
Okay.
I asked you a question first, Maddie. Do you understand how the SCOTUS works?
Well, you said SCOTUS. Don't know what SCOTUS is.
I would assume if you're up on a political live that you know the baseline of fucking what, abbreviation is.
Why don't you explain to me why Biden isn't doing it now?
I am trying to ask you a question to give you a baseline.
Don't ask a question with another
question. Maddie,
everyone does that.
You gotta
answer.
I'm
tired of people doing that.
Maddie,
shit.
you gotta answer
the
questions.
questions.
Maddie, you gotta
answering with a question.
Maddie,
it's not your fucking live.
You gotta answer the questions.
It's not yours either.
I'm a subscriber, and I fucking come up here, and I'm a fucking mod on here on a fucking regular basis. I know what the fuck Goldie talks about on a regular goddamn basis, so I know where the fucking conversation goes in. So again, Maddie, I'm getting a baseline on what your knowledge is. So do you understand how
Dude, just stop with this, dude. Fucking I asked a question. Works? And you're starting to ask me go off on trivia questions, dude.
I'm
Please
really
stop.
Not. I'm trying to get a baseline of your fucking knowledge.
This is not Jeopardy, okay? I asked you a question. God, can you fucking answer?
She's in the process of answering. You kind of need to be present in the conversation. Answer her question. She will continue, and you will get your answer. It's that simple.
It's true, Maddie.
I'm the one who asked the question, dude.
No,
and she's replying with the questions to further explain her point. Let her finish. Just
she
answer
answered
the question.
my question with another question.
No,
it's called participation.
Do you understand how SCOTUS works? How that there's an individual person when it comes to the top of the line that sits there and makes sure that there are other individuals that go into office when it comes to SCOTUS. Do you understand that that's how it fucking works?
Hey, you should chill your tone. You know, calm down. Your cortisol's rising. It's not good for you.
You're right,
It
and you're
makes you
right.
fat.
You're
No
killing
one wants to
me.
be fat.
Move on. Do you
Matt-
know how
Maddie.
SCOTUS works?
Look, dude, simple question. Do you expect Kamala to do it?
Answer
And if
my
she
fucking
did, why
question
isn't she doing
first,
it
and I
now?
will answer any
Maddie,
question that
yeah.
you want.
Respectfully, ma'am, I asked a question first.
Maddie,
I
answer Puka's question, or you're gone.
Do you know how fucking SCOTUS works? Do you know how SCOTUS works?
I'm assuming the answer is no because you simply
Obviously
can't answer
not.
a
No,
very
please.
He
simple
didn't even
question.
know what
Tell
the
me,
he
like,
didn't even know what the
please
SCOTUS was.
Explain
Yeah,
to me how
obviously.
she's gonna get it done.
Honestly, in my opinion, you should almost boot this fucking person. By the way,
In my opinion, you can't answer the question, so you're fucking
Neither can
asking
you.
me another
You don't know
question
how SCOTUS
because you don't want
works.
to
You don't
answer
even
the
know what it
original
is.
question.
please mute this fucker.
I think you're stupid.
Hey,
The feeling's
Maddie,
mutual.
Maddie, you got to be respectful, okay? Take it easy.
Oh, is she not being respectful?
I don't care if she's respectful. You
Okay,
got to
that's
be
fine, that's
respectful.
fine. I totally understand why you would think that way.
Okay. Can I, since he's not willing to fucking educate...
Dude, I asked you the question.
Can you,
What the
since
fuck?
he's not willing to educate the populace...
It's
can I
embarrassing at this
the
point.
populace?
All right, Maddie, you're gone.
Thank you. So there's an
Oh my
individual
God.
that fucking sits in power, that sits there and votes in and makes sure that there's other individuals that are a part of the SCOTUS that are able to sit there and dictate whether it is lawful and not lawful. And this is where they go to sit there and have things like Roe v. Wade and etc. to go to fucking court, right? And they vote on these things. Well, Donald Trump was able to sit there and have two individuals that were into SCOTUS because of the unalivement of I'm blanking on the name.
Ruth Bader.
Thank you, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and one other, I can't remember their name either.
I can't
But
remember their name.
basically, this basically swayed it to have two extra Republican judges that made it to where it was okay to overturn Roe v. Wade. If Donald Trump were to get into freaking office again, it would come up again due to term limits and things. Well, I don't know if it's term limits, but anyway, due to limits and things of that nature, that he would have the possibility of voting in three others that would possibly sway to where individuals would not be able to vote in the way that the regular public would want that vote to be. So if we voted Donald Trump in, he would have three other opportunities to be able to do that. If we voted in Kamala Harris,
Hold on. Marcus, Supreme Court justices don't have term limits, but they do retire. Like, you can retire as a Supreme Court justice.
And I think it's Clarence Thomas and two others that are up for the possibility of retirement. So Donald Trump would have this opportunity to have three other very Republican leading judges be put into that position from here on out, and therefore so it wouldn't be Roe v. Wade anymore because that has been overturned, but other legislation for the protections of AB specifically, and very many other things that are going to be on the ticket, right, to be able to be voted on or legislated on, right, are going to be in that position. So being able to vote in somebody like Kamala Harris is going to be a very big issue, specifically for women, when it comes to our rights. So if you're sitting there and you're not understanding who and what SCOTUS is, that is very, very basic information to know what is going to possibly happen when it comes to this next election. Now, to know what is going to possibly happen when it comes to this next election. Now, to know
Oh,
what
no.
is going to possibly happen when it comes to this next election.
Yeah, Parker, you got to swipe out and then swipe back in. They'll get there eventually. Just swipe out of the app, then swipe back in. They'll get there eventually. Just swipe out of the app, then swipe back in. They'll get there eventually.
Parker.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You needed to swipe out of the app and then swipe back in, but you're good now.
Anyway,
cool.
the end of my sentence was,
yeah.
we need to make sure that we vote in the right individuals to make sure that that doesn't happen. Period.
Yeah, Parker, how old are you?
Hey man, I'm 50.
What are your pronouns?
Him.
And who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Trump, and honestly, I got to tell you, I mean, however it works out, I'm gonna be so freaking happy because I've been getting so fed up with seeing one after another political ads on both sides, and I know it drives you guys crazy too.
Oh,
Seeing
yeah.
all the political ads every 15 seconds, I'm getting fed up with it.
All right,
Yeah,
why are you voting for?
typically what happens every 4 years anyway.
Yeah, why are you voting for Trump?
Well, when he was in office, all right, I've had guns before, okay? I like shooting guns.
Hold on, Parker, just to protect the live, you have to say pew pew. You have to. I agree with you that it's stupid, but you just, to protect the live, you have to say pew pew.
Oh, okay, pew pew, that's fine. Hey, whatever makes, that's fine. So I had pew pews, all right, and I got rid of them and stuff, and never been like a big gun nut or anything. It was a hobby. Then again, other different hobbies too, like mini bikes, gardening, all kinds of stuff. But anyways, I got no people that were, guns with Trump and this and that. All right, I'm sorry, pew pew. So my thing was when he was in office, it was stuff was cheaper. It was. So you know,
but that's not because of Trump.
No.
That's a correlation causation fallacy.
I mean, all right, you say causation, correlation, all right? So now if let's say if Trump wins the election and then people start complaining about inflation, and now would that be his fault or Joe Biden's fault and Harris's?
What do you think an inflation is at right now?
Well, honestly, a lot of people know on both sides it's pretty bad. But if Trump does get in office, will he be being blamed? Will the inflation be his fault then?
The inflation is at 2.4% right now. It's not bad.
All right. But would you see people doing that though? Let's say if it went up though, if it does go up, would Trump be blamed for that?
Parker,
I'm listening to you.
Okay, but you're not. So specifically, Goldie asked what the inflation was, and then you pivoted to a different question. So if we're willing to have a conversation, and we are very willing to have a conversation with you, you kind of have to have a back and forth that is not a question asked with a question. If we ask you a question, we expect an answer with it. Yeah.
Oh, that's like what the one guy said. Don't answer a question with a question.
Right. So
I got it.
So maybe don't do that. Yeah.
All right. So basically, here's the thing. I'm voting for Trump.
And we get that.
I honestly believe. I don't believe the people put the get people in power. There's you know as well as I do that they're put in power by others, not the people.
Well, okay, so that's a debatable thing.
Well,
are you hold on? So are you specifically talking about the electorals?
No, I'm talking about the people that fund these campaigns.
Okay, well that's again a very debatable.
Yep, exactly like what you just said.
That's a very debatable thing. Okay, so you're saying that our votes don't count? I'm trying to get a baseline of what your thought process is from.
They want to make you think they count.
Okay, what makes you think that your votes don't count?
But I think at the end of the day, every politician's crooked and they lie.
Parker, I asked a very specific question. Did you not understand or hear my question?
Oh, can you repeat that? I got really bad hearing problems.
Okay, and that's fine. I'm totally willing to restate my question. What I asked was, what makes you think that your vote does not count?
I'm a negative person. That's it.
Okay, well that's a personal belief then. That's not necessarily something that can be based by fact. Can you maybe specifically give me something that makes you very much think that? Is it because if you were sitting there and having the conversation when it comes to electoral, I could maybe debate that, right? But if it's just your belief or thought process, then I can't really debate that because it's your personal thought process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I understand, like you said, you could have a debate on the electoral college, and I know why they have it. It's to balance stuff out. That's pretty much it.
Do you know that Trump tried to generate false electoral votes and have Mike Pence certify them?
Yeah, but also you got to look at though too. The sad thing though, he won the election when he ran against Clinton, all right. And the sad thing about that election was Trump wasn't even a politician. He was some guy that played in a movie.
So you need to back up. Hold on. You need to back up. You're saying that he voted or that he won the election versus Hillary is what I heard, right?
That was against them too.
Based on what? Based on what?
What did he win that election on?
Right. Based on what?
Because it was going back to the same thing everybody's complaining about.
Let me take this. So he didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the vote of the people. What did he win? How did he win it?
Well, the popular vote, if we went by that, California and New York would be controlled the whole country.
So yeah, he won the electoral votes.
Do you think that would be fair though for two states to control the whole country?
Puka's trying to lead to a point here. We just need to say he won the electoral vote, not the popular vote.
All right, yeah, and that's how it normally goes too.
No, not really.
No,
not normally.
The electoral college balances stuff out. If you had the popular vote, like I said again, the states California and New York would be controlling every election.
Okay, so real quick, you did just kind of gloss over the treason that I mentioned, which was Trump generating false electoral votes and trying to have Mike Pence, his vice president, certify them. How do you feel about that?
Well, I can go back to
no. Can you?
Let's try to stick on one thing.
Hillary Clinton pulled the same shit
Parker.
Election.
No, she did not. She did not. Hold on, Parker. You're Parker. You're spewing misinformation. There is only one other time this has happened. There's only one other time this has happened, and it was not with Clinton. Okay. This is the first time any presidential candidate has ever generated false electoral votes for more than one state. Seven states.
I'm gonna take a dump on that bitch's face, dude.
There you go. There's the MAGA.
Two colors.
There's the MAGA.
Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Well, all right. So can I do a plug real quick?
Nice.
By the way, hi Jen. By the way,
nice to meet everyone.
Anyway, hi guys, we are specifically looking for MAGA individuals. We do want to have a debate, a specific, responsible, respectful debate. We need you to tap
preferably.
it out. Yes. We want you to tap the live out, share it out with as many people as you can. Spam the chat when it comes to, so like say, hey, you're voting blue, put blue hearts in the chat. If you're voting red, put red hearts in the chat. But we don't want you to consistently spam it. We just want to push out the live as much as possible. Please subscribe to the creator. We appreciate you. If you would like to go to the Bink and Lio to support Goldie, we really very much appreciate it, especially because he is funding an amputation when it comes to his dog. It is cancer. It does have to be an amputation because it is in the bone. So please, anything and everything that you are able to do, we very much appreciate it. But we do want a understandable, respectful debate, okay? If you're coming in here as a flat earther, that's not necessarily what we're looking for, okay? So come on up. Appreciate you. Thank you. And all the love, all right?
Hell yeah. Extraterrestrial. How old are you?
Tim Waltz shoved a tampon up my ass in the boys' locker room.
Oh my goodness, please stop.
Yeah, and that's exactly, yeah. All right.
Smart.
Well, that's a thing.
Classy. MAGA is really on their game today.
I know.
MAGA's really on their game.
Okay, so I had a ghost town for most of my lives, except for the extremely way off the wall ones today. I swear to God, um, they were literally trying to sit there and tell me that the World Health Organization were like the enemies today. It was wild.
Yeah, I've had that
I feel
come
like
up a
the
couple
super
of times.
crazy ones are the only ones left.
All right, let me talk to Dale for a little bit. Dale, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you tonight?
Pretty good. How old are you?
I'm 51.
And what are your pronouns?
He.
And who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Kamala.
Nice, based.
Based.
Why are you going to do that?
Well, I've always voted Democrat for social issues mainly. I'm very pro LGBTQ, pro women, pro human rights, basically. The one question that I haven't heard, I don't hear asked, I don't think enough of people who are voting for Trump, is that when you have 40 out of 44 of his cabinet members who will not endorse him or are endorsing Kamala, I don't understand why. It's like I run a company. When I want to promote from within my company, I talk to the people that work with these people and ask questions and say, hey, what do you think of them? What kind of leader are they? Just the general things you would ask. And to have all the people that's worked with him, for him in the White House and are so against him, I do not understand how more people don't find that just terrible. You know what I mean? I don't get why that's not a bigger issue, because to me, if your own people that have worked for you and side by side with you and they do not support you, there's a reason behind that.
Yeah, for sure. Base take, yeah, for sure. Agreed. Y'all, we need more Trumpers in the box. I thought y'all would want to talk about Trump, okay? That's what we're
There's
here
a few
for.
in the chat. I think they're just scared to come up.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
It's a thing.
PBR says it's all over, and you know it. You don't have invites on, though. I do actually know that it's all over. It's just not over in the way you think it is.
Yeah, it's not the same. Okay, so maybe we should pick a topic that we're specifically talking about individually that maybe might trigger them. Yeah?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay, it's up to you. It's your
Ramaswamy
life.
and RFK. Ew.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Okay, we have somebody named Democrats for Trump. How are you doing?
I was just gonna
So
mention
where
that in the
is
comments.
Kamala Harris?
Nope, Democrats, how are you doing?
Very good.
How old are you?
29. Or 39, sorry.
What are your
I wish I was 29.
what are your pronouns?
Democrat for Trump.
Okay, what are your actual pronouns?
First off, I can barely. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I have hearing issues. Democrats, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, you are a little you are a little quiet. So I'm gonna assume that you would prefer to be called he or him. So we're gonna assume that and move on. How on earth can you bring yourself to vote for Trump after all he's done against you specifically?
Well, for instance, Kamala Harris has no tax plan. Donald Trump does.
That's
She
not
has
true.
no tax plan to save everybody.
Absolutely not true.
Everybody. Hold on. To save everybody.
Nope. You're gonna hold on.
Taxes.
You're gonna hold on because that's absolutely not true, and you would pay less taxes under Kamala Harris.
That's not true.
That is absolutely
It is true.
So
unless you make over $400,000 a year.
Sure, Donald Trump's tax plan expires in December of 25. Kamala Harris has no tax plan for everybody. Only if you're having a baby. Only if you're starting a business.
No, her tax plan gives you tax breaks unless you make more than $400,000 a year.
That's not true.
That is totally true.
Yes,
That's
it
not true.
is.
That's not true.
Yeah,
Nobody's been able to prove that yet.
It's true.
Nope. Show me.
What do you mean show you?
There's no. She has no plan, except for if you're having a baby, starting a business, and buying a house. That's
So is it weird that you're the only one that doesn't know about the plan?
Like I said, her plan is only if you're buying a house only if you're having a baby, and only if you're starting a new business, not a current business, not if you bought a house, not if you already have it.
That is part of her tax policy, yes.
That's not for everybody.
I don't know how you know that and don't know her actual, like, individual income tax policy.
Oh, I
Would
do
you, like,
know her
skim over the
individual.
rest
It
of
goes
that
up
tax plan?
Right.
3% for most Americans.
Absolutely not
It's
true.
not. Okay,
That's federal income tax rate goes up.
Democrat. Hey, I am very much, very much into facts. So I am going to look that up right now, and I will prove you wrong or not wrong.
You will
okay.
not.
Well, it's wrong or not wrong. I'm not going to be bipartisan. I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to prove you wrong." But I'm going to look up her tax plan right now, okay? And I will read it to you verbatim. Now, you are going to have to give me a couple. Hold on. You are going to have to give me a few fucking minutes to read the entire fucking plan.
You guys should know it by now, shouldn't you? She doesn't have a tax plan.
While that's happening,
know it verbatim.
Puka, go look it up. Puka, go look it up. While that's happening, I'll ask.
People's taxes.
Shut up, dude. While that's happening, I will ask you. Shut the fuck up. While that's happening, I will ask you if you are in favor of tariffs.
I am, most definitely.
Why?
Oh my god.
So, do you know how tariffs
Donald
work?
Trump has this. Yeah, I know exactly how they work.
Who pays them?
So, we pay them.
Okay, so you like taxes. Great.
Right. I understand how they work. I understand tariffs as a tool. It's a negotiation chip. So, if it's a tool that the
It's a
president has,
negotiation chip.
It definitely is.
So he makes us pay more money, and somehow that's a negotiation chip with China.
But that's not true either.
That is absolutely true.
But it's not. So
but it is.
But it is.
But let me give you my example before you.
You don't have an example, but yeah, you can say something.
I guess you got the answer.
You can say something, but you're gonna be wrong.
So Donald Trump wants to do a sliding scale tariff-based program, never been done before. 60% roughly overall in China, 10% roughly overall around the globe, other countries like India, next door to China. Okay,
yeah,
so
we know this.
They're mostly a textile country, and if China's getting hit roughly 60%, then India next door has the opportunity to get us, one of the largest consumers on planet Earth, which will it creates a competitive environment. And with volume, even if cost goes up, with volume, price can come down. Look at the Henry Ford model. Nice look, buddy.
Yeah, this is what you've done to me with your shit-ass take.
You've given him a stroke.
Well, it's the truth.
It's a terrible take. Are you assuming we can take over all production?
We're the largest consumer on planet Earth. We create a competitive environment around the world. And
are you assuming we don't rely on imports?
I didn't say that. That's not what I said at all.
So we rely on a lot of imports, right? And if those prices raise, what happens to the prices of the goods?
So something can go up in cost, but if volume's being pushed out, companies can get a lot less profit, and that's how it works. They do analytics.
What the fuck is this dude talking about?
Yeah, your confidence isn't very high. That's okay.
Prices.
You don't understand, do you?
Prices will raise. Okay, that's the bottom line. You will be paying more for the goods that you're paying for.
Not true. You create
absolutely true. You are 100% wrong. Tariffs are always inflationary. That's how it works.
That's not true.
Every single time, they always have been. Is he going to institute some Shut up! Is he going to institute some revolutionary new tariffs that somehow will not be inflationary for the first time
so why is
ever?
Harris and Joe Biden raising tariffs then?
They kept the Chinese tariffs. What do you mean they raised them?
No, they raised tariffs because of the infrastructure plan.
When? By how much?
Products. Electric cars by 100%.
Electric cars by 100%?
Yep.
Okay, where is that listed? Where can I find that?
I know you guys aren't used to being educated, but this is the truth.
To the Deduction, a tax foundation podcast. I'm your host, Kyle.
Where can I find that?
And we are back again today with another...
Sorry.
So has your echo chamber tried to find out about the tax plan? Where's the tax plan that she was going to come up with?
You're fucking
annoying. I'm right, you guys are wrong.
This dude's annoying.
I'm literally looking it up, bro, and I'm so sorry that the audio I thought I was muted. I'm so sorry. I'm literally looking it up right now. Like, what the fuck?
Anyway, everybody's just dropping off as I approve them. Aragorn, maybe Aragorn will come up. Maybe we'll have the Aragorn. Aragorn, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Pretty good. What are your pronouns?
I don't really know too much about that stuff. I'm just, I'm a dude.
All right, so he, him. How old are you?
Okay, can I just state that Aragorn, the crush of my very young life, is sitting there and is not understanding the possibility of the existence of pronouns? Like, I'm just saying.
It's wild.
It's heartbreaking.
Who are you voting for?
Already voted Donald Trump.
Okay, and how on earth could you have brought yourself to do that after all he's done against the American people?
Well, what has he done? Can you name me some stuff that he's done?
Do you know what led up to January 6th?
Right.
Do you know what led up to January 6th? Not what happened on the day.
Peaceful tweet telling them to go home.
No.
Telling them to
No, not at all. The false elector scheme. Do you know anything about it?
He was using alternative electors. It's been used before since 1960. That's not a new thing.
Are you saying no? What you're saying is it was used once before in 1960 in regard to one state where recounts were inconclusive, and both sides used it. Right? You want to be?
Right.
Do you want to be disingenuous, or do you want to?
Right.
Both sides used it because recounts were literally inconclusive. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying in that situation, that's a lot less worse than one man doing this for 7 different swing states because he's throwing a fucking temper tantrum. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't have happened.
Is it unconstitutional?
I don't think it's unconstitutional.
It absolutely is unconstitutional. Do you know who agrees?
I don't think so. What constitution?
Do you know who do you know who agrees with me that it's unconstitutional?
Let me guess. Mike Pence?
Yeah, do you disagree with him? Do you think
he's unconstitutional?
Do you think
he absolutely disagree with him?
Do you think he should have done what Donald Trump wanted and certified the false electoral votes?
Nope, I do not.
So why? If it's not unconstitutional, why not? What reason is there to not do it?
I don't know. I guess he didn't want to do it. I don't know if they didn't have proof that
you're just not willing to admit that it's unconstitutional. Gotcha. All right. So this is who we're dealing with. Let's go from here.
Okay. Well, I wanted to talk on the tax plan anyway, so let's go back to that.
Sure.
Okay. What was Kamala's tax plan? Can you give me that again?
Kamala.
Same thing. You know who I'm talking about.
No, say it right.
No. Say it right.
What's Harris's tax plan?
No, say Kamala now. You're not just going to refuse.
So you don't know who I'm talking about?
Show her respect and say her goddamn name right.
I did. Harris. That's her name. What's her tax plan?
Say Kamala. We're not going to entertain you until you show the sitting vice president the basest respect of saying her name correctly. Kamala.
Right.
It's
you don't
easy.
Want to get to the facts.
It's
Kamala,
easy. Say it right.
Kamala.
Thank you. Jesus fuck,
okay,
man.
What
is wrong with these people?
Give me your tax plan. Do you know it, or what's her tax plan?
What's Trump's tax plan?
Right? Didn't that Democrats guy just lay it out? Tariffs.
Okay.
Do you know his tax plan? What is his tax plan? Can you tell it to us?
Did I not just say it? Tariffs?
No,
tariffs is not the tax plan. No, that's laughably wrong. It's part of it.
Yes, it is. What area
part of it.
Are you talking? The national tax plan for Donald Trump is tariffs. Which one do you want?
No,
but tariffs is. Oh my God, you're dumb.
Okay,
all right.
So Aragorn, because I'm going to actually try and be respectful and actually pronounce your name correctly, okay? So Aragorn, so there's tons of different things that she's proposing when it comes to her tax plan. So $25,000 tax credit for new home buyers, $6,000 for individuals that have children under 3 years old, and then it goes up it goes down versus fucking all of that bullshit, right? There's tons and tons of things that I could sit there and talk about when it comes to Kamala Harris's tax plan. So Aragorn, when you're specifically asking for the respect of information, we expect the absolute respect of information back, right? So if Goldie is specifically asking about Trump's tax plan, can you specifically answer that question? I'm willing to sit there and give you that respect, but you need to give that respect back, right? So and now your teacupped out. So now
he's looking
I'm
it
assuming
up.
yeah, so now I'm assuming that you're Googling it. See, I don't even have that pulled up. I
Which
can
is
just
good.
recite
I mean,
that.
it's good that you're actually looking it up.
I wasn't, but okay. Okay, well, can I dissect her tax plan that you just gave me real quick? Can I get that respect?
No,
quick,
no, because
Okay.
no, because he specifically asked you a question first. I gave you the respect to sit there and give you the freaking answer that you were seeking, but he asked a question
Her plan
first.
is tax credits for children, which was Donald Trump's plan at first, by the way. It was 5,000.
Really
she upped it to
wasn't.
6,000.
No,
It literally
no.
was. Are you okay?
Wait.
Hold
Do you
on,
know
hold on.
do you know the entire child tax credit policy that Harris is laying out? Because it's not. Do you know age cutoffs or anything?
I'm assuming it's Trump's, just with a couple words difference.
So
Just like
no,
most of her policies.
not at all. Totally wrong. 6,000
Okay,
for newborns. Correct me if I'm wrong on the exact numbers, but 3,000 once they hit a certain age, and then by the time they're 18, it goes down to 2,000.
Right.
But all the way through 18 years old, you're getting a consistent year-over-year tax credit for children.
Okay. Well, cool. Appreciate you for laying that out. But
by the way, can I specify? Hold on. So by the way, can I specify that Donald Trump's was only 1,000 per, and it didn't differentiate between ages. So
this was 5,000 for the first 2 years of life, I believe.
Okay, I will Google it again, but because I've very much researched this before, because I've had these debates many times before, that it's 1,000 per child per household, no matter what the freaking age is. So it is going to be, it's okay. I will look it up again. I swear I will. But that is my knowledge to what his tax plan was when it came to children beforehand. So, Aragon. Is it Aragorn? What do I need to do?
It's Lord of the Rings, Aragorn.
Okay, it's really sad to me to sit there and call you Lord of the Rings, because I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, and I kind of don't want to differentiate you.
So you hate me for debating? You hate me for debating, and you hate Lord of the Rings because of my name?
No. I still am gonna love the hell out of Lord of the Rings. I'm just not gonna like you, so I'm gonna just use him from here.
Because I disagree with what you're saying. You don't like me. That's very tolerant.
No. Because you're voting for Donald Trump, who is very much proven.
That he can lead this country.
No, very much proven that he has been liable for defamation and rape. The fact that he is racist due to the fact that he will not allow individuals that are darker melanin to sit there and rent his housing. The individual fact that he has bragged about the fact that he has overturned Roe v. Wade. The fact that he has what is the word I'm looking for? He has said that he thinks that immigrants specifically are violating or poisoning the blood of our nation. The fact that he has repeatedly cheated on every single spouse that he has had for the entirety of his life, all 3 freaking spouses, including both Marla, Ivana, and Ivanka, including the fact that he has raped individuals as young as 13 years old, as of Katie Johnson. The fact that he has raped individuals such as E. Jean Carroll and found liable of defamation and rape to that individual. There is things that I can continue having that thought process. You support that individual, and so therefore I don't feel comfortable calling you Lord of the Rings, due to the fact that Lord of the Rings is something that I hold very near and dear to my heart.
Right. Can I rebuttal everything you just said, or are you going to keep talking over me? Can I rebuttal everything you just said?
Okay. Yeah, I'm willing to do that, but I was in the middle of a sentence.
Right, you just keep saying the same thing. Can I rebuttal everything you just said? That way we don't have to keep going.
I'm sorry. Host, did I say anything that was the same thing?
No, you continuously listed different things, and they were all Aragorn. I'm answering a question. No, you listed many different things, and all of them were factually correct.
Okay, so thank you. So the end of my sentence, which I was very close to the end of my sentence, all of those things make me very icky on the inside for something that I hold near and dear to my heart to sit there and call you because you support somebody that literally did all of the things that I listed.
Right. Can I rebuttal against that, though? That sounds like you're done now. Can I rebuttal against that?
I am done. You're correct. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So you talking about him being racist. Actually, he opened Mar-a-Lago to black folks back in the day, the first person to do that at a resort back in the day. So that's very racist.
What do you mean first person to open up to Mar-a-Lago?
First person to open up his resort to black folks in Florida? Absolutely, he did.
Okay, so when we're talking about his racism, do you know that he was denying housing based on skin color in the 1970s?
Right,
he wasn't, I think it was 80s.
He was. It was 73 when the suit started.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. I thought it was 80s. I apologize.
Yeah, with the suits. Okay, well, he wasn't actually. And,
he was actually, and it was proven.
Actually, he wasn't.
Actually, he was.
Actually, he wasn't. How about we bring up another thing? When he put Whitney Houston up in
can't just say, actually, he wasn't, and then leave that, because he absolutely was. So how about you stop lying or get kicked? I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm not going to invite you to unmute this time. You can figure it out.
And that's not even mentioning all the other accounts of him being racist. So come on.
Yeah, and right. So I gave very baseline fucking definite, like really.
Right,
Aragorn, we're not going off of emotions. We're going off of actual court cases. You okay, bud?
Break up. Give me sites that I could go to search this, because that shit's not real.
Okay, I'm
sure.
down.
Talking about that's not real.
It's absolutely real.
Hey, seriously, I'm very much about facts. I'm 100% willing to do that. Aragorn, I'm gonna sit there and fucking follow you, even though I don't like it. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna send. Well, no, I'm gonna follow you so that way you can follow me back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to exchange links to things that prove things.
Cool.
And in the meantime, let's see how Alonzo's doing. Alonzo, how are you doing? I sent you an invite to unmute. I muted you because your background noise was a little wild to begin with.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. How old are you?
Thank you so much. I am 53.
Pronouns?
When I need to go in the store, do you check me, search me?
Hey, Alonzo, you have a lot of background noise, dude.
It's a lot of background
shopping?
noise.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's
I am
much better. 53 years old, and I am not a fan of Donald Trump, and I believe people who are fans of Donald Trump are just fans of Donald Trump because they are fear-mongered, racist people that want their white supremacy back, or they want things to go back to the good old days when the only ones that had it good were if you were a white man.
Yep.
So that's why that's why there's nothing. Excuse me, I am speaking. That is why no matter what Donald Trump does, they excuse it. No matter what he does, no matter what bad things he does, even when these things have been proven. If Barack Obama would have done a quarter of the things that Donald Trump did, they would have skewered him alive. But they excuse everything that Donald Trump does because they think that Donald Trump is going to save them from equality. And to the privileged, equality seems like persecution. When you've always had it, you don't miss it until you no longer have it.
Right. It's not pie. Just because other individuals sit there and have more rights does not mean that you have less. And they sit there and they think that they do.
Alonzo, your background noise is back. And now you got to swipe out and swipe back in.
Yeah. So literally just scroll up and then scroll back.
Your background noise is back. And now you got to swipe out and swipe back in.
Ooh, Aragon, I think it might be you too, Mike, actually.
No, I don't have anything.
Literally just scroll up. No, you've got the echo too, so you've got to swipe up and then swipe back.
Yeah, you got to swipe out of the app and then swipe back in. It's you.
It's not me. It's not me. I was just muted.
No, it is you. It is.
Yeah,
no,
it
really
went away
is.
when you were muted. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Donna. I'm 28. My pronouns are any pronouns.
Any, so they, them, etc. Oh,
Yeah,
and gone. Okay.
I kicked him because he wasn't getting it.
Okay.
Well,
hi,
yeah.
Donna.
Welcome. Who are you voting for?
Hi, how are you? I just am here to talk about like how I think both of them are terrible. I'm on the fence about both of them. I don't believe I can have the audacity to cape for someone who's receiving more money from Israel lobbyists than Donald Trump is, and administration that has allowed more fracking permits than Donald Trump has, and also raised the police and military budget more than Donald Trump has.
Okay, so yeah, so you're not going to vote against blatant rights violations. All right.
I think that the issue is that like the DNC, you guys act like rights are more important than people's lives, and when there's a whole genocide happening right now, and you're going to put a warmonger in office, it's kind of damaging to.
Yeah, so we're talking about either Trump winning the president. So there are only two possible outcomes in this election, right? Either Trump wins the presidency or Kamala wins the presidency. Do you agree?
I do agree, yes.
Okay, so if Trump wins the presidency, he's only going to support Israel, and he doesn't want a two-state solution. He wants to support... No.
Yeah.
So Kamala has always advocated for a ceasefire. Almost immediately, Kamala advocated for a ceasefire, which is at least a step in the right direction, right? That's at least better than Trump's policy.
She's called for a ceasefire, and then she followed it by saying she will let Israel do whatever they need to do to defend themselves. So she actually used the buzzword and then followed it up by saying that she will support Israel no matter what. So she will also, especially she's accepting more money from Israel lobbyists than Donald Trump is.
You're going to get kicked so fast.
Okay,
Why?
so hold on.
Yeah.
So even if that is necessarily I'm not saying it is not or it is, because I've read a big amount of things that saying that is not true, but even arguing from your stance there, Donna, okay. I don't agree with what's going on between Israel and Palestine in any way, shape, or form. Okay, but it is also a reasonable understanding that if we as a nation are not in the right ability to be able to have the most amount of individuals that are going in a reasonable line in our government, that if we cannot handle ourselves in a reasonable way, we cannot reasonably handle any other nation, right?
The way I see it is that we've gotten into 3 wars with the Biden administration, and like we're funding 3 of them, and we shouldn't be funding any wars.
Donna.
Oh, so you don't support Ukraine either? Hold on.
Hold on.
No, I don't support war. I just don't support any war. I think we should keep our hands out of
hold
war.
on.
This is why I usually don't let undecided voters up. I'm just gonna say that because you all are insufferable.
Okay, so I understand, but Donna, can we really have just a back and forth just for like a couple more minutes? Okay, please. So there are different minorities throughout the United States. BIPOC, LGBTQIA, etc. Right? We can go on and on and on, right? So if we in the United States do not have securities to make sure that we are okay, can we really, as a full nation, be able to fight for anything else? Period.
Well, in my mind, I see it as Biden did let.
Okay, no. I don't want a nuance. I don't want a nuance. Hold on, Donna. I don't want a nuance. I literally just want a direct answer to my question, please.
Yes, I'm answering. If you would let me speak, that would be great.
But it's not a nuance. That's you're going into a nuance.
I'm
It's
actually
like,
not. I'm
hey,
actually. If you let me, what was I
no,
gonna say?
I asked you. Hold on. I asked you if all of us as a nation, including the BIPOC, LGBTQIA, literally all of the fucking nation, is not okay in a full nation. Do you think that is it a reasonable argument to go and fight for literally anything else? Period.
I don't understand your question. I'm just like.
Okay,
If we're not in a place of stability, how are we supposed to?
Hold on. So, okay, so Donald Trump very much wants to go after immigration. Very much wants to go out after the LGBTQIA. Very much wants to go after women. So if
Biden's
us as a
deported more
nation,
people than Trump has too.
whoa. Okay, it's not worth the conversation then. Okay,
it's absolutely not. Absolutely
it's
not. This is why I don't let undecided voters stay up here. This is why.
Okay,
it's impossible.
So let me paint a fucking mind picture for you, okay? The United States is a huge melting pot of a lot of different things. LGBTQIA, immigration, women, etc. And if he's targeting all of these minority fucking groups, do you think that the entirety of the nation has the ability to have the numbers to fight for literally fucking anything else? Period was my fucking conversation. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The likelihood is no, because we wouldn't have the fucking numbers. We would have cis white fucking men.
Yeah,
That's
so
that would
further,
be the only fucking thing.
Yes, so for the record, if you are an undecided voter, you will not be staying up here. That was the one. That was the one try. So if you say you're not voting for anybody, you're gone. Okay? Fair warning, don't be in the box. Just don't be in the box.
And you know, it's a real shame. I actually held this standpoint before I spoke to another creator here. I was considering not voting because of my stance specifically on Palestine. But when it came down to it, at the end of the day, you have to realize there are only two viable options in this election. Mm-hmm. And one of them is going to make it so that there are no Palestinians left. And the other one is not going to,
is possibly going to do something right by them.
There's a chance, exactly. Yeah. There's a chance with the other person. It's a very black and white situation right now.
Shuck, how are you doing?
I'm good.
And how old are you?
I'm 53.
And your pronouns?
I don't join that circus, sorry.
I'll assume it's he, him then. And who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Trump.
How can you possibly bring yourself to do that after he's done so much against you specifically?
No, he's done a lot for me, though, too.
Okay, that's a great answer.
I have a question for you, though, and it's an honest, sincere question.
Sure, he's done a lot against me, but he's done some good stuff too.
Well, I never say he's done a lot against me.
Your answer to why would you do that when he's done something against you is, but he's done some good stuff too.
He's not done anything personally against me. He's done some bad things.
Yes, he has.
Okay, well, can I just say he's done some bad things and said some bad things I don't agree with. I'm on your side with that. But personally, has he done bad things against me? No. But
yes, he has.
Okay, well.
You might not know them, but he has.
Okay, I'm here to ask a question. So, if Trump loses, I'm okay as a Trump supporter stepping back and saying, you know what, maybe I should have voted for Nikki Haley, or maybe I should have voted for DeSantis. I'm mature enough to take a stand and step back and say, you know what, I made a mistake. My question to you guys is, though, if Trump wins, what are you going to do? Here's how I compare it. College football right now, I follow college football. The number one team in the country is Oregon. If they played Akron, who's the worst team in the country, 132 in the nation, and they lost to them, they would be embarrassed. They lost to the worst in the country. You guys claim Trump is the worst human being ever to walk the earth. He's the worst president. He's worse. He's a bigot. He's a racist. He's a sexual predator. So what are you going to do?
I don't claim he's the worst president.
Well,
I don't claim he's the worst person in the world. Okay, I claim he's literally the worst president we've ever had.
Okay, so if that's the case, so what are you going to do if he wins? Are you going to take a long, hard look at, maybe your party and say, you know what? We might want to take a look at ourselves because we just lost to the worst president ever.
No, I'm going to keep doing this.
Oh,
We're
so
going to
you're not
advocate
going to find
against
any
him still.
fault in
That's not going to
yourself.
stop us.
You're not going to find any fault at all with your side. None. You had
No, because
faults.
he's still terrible.
You had no faults in your side.
Hold on. So can I answer that? Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead, please. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. So I actually will find some form of fault on my side as well, because it does take the both sides to be able to do what it does, right?
Exactly.
But honestly, I will honestly do more so of the population when it comes to the United States of America, because there is a huge trend of individuals that will show up for primaries but not state and local. So if there's going to be a problem, it's going to be to our electorals. The electorals is going to be more so based on what goes on with our specific elections when state and local, to make sure that those individuals are voted into the electoral. So it's going to be more so that I'm going to be upset with my state and local individuals that show up. More so than So more so of the okay. So
but you don't think it's going to be some of your views, like the extreme views that the Democrat Party has?
Like what? What are extreme views that we have?
Okay, I'll give you examples.
Yes, that is the question.
Start with sanctuary cities. So I'm in Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is a sanctuary city. A couple years ago, the ICE had a detainer on an illegal immigrant who was a violent offender, and the mayor said, "Cut him loose. We're not holding him until ICE gets here." They cut him loose, and he went and raped and killed a little girl.
Great.
Please.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Great.
You've got to you've got to use TikTok friendly language. It's fine to have your own opinion, but you've got to use TikTok friendly.
You all think you can just say whatever you want and TikTok isn't going to do anything. That's crazy, dude.
So I'm going to say again. So that's what you guys support. I'm sorry, that's extreme. You guys support it. You can't back out and say you don't. The Democrat Party supports sanctuary cities.
No, seriously, I don't know what you mean when you say sanctuary cities. I Googled it. So Anaheim, Berkeley, Los Angeles, Sacramento.
They hide illegal criminals from ICE.
Hold on.
They're hiding illegal criminals.
Hold on.
That's what sanctuary cities are.
No. So okay. So I want to be educated. Hey,
you want to discuss it?
Shut up. I'm asking you a specific fucking question. Goddamn.
Sorry, Puka. I'm inflaming him on purpose.
I know. Stop it.
You're not inflaming me. I'm laughing
hey,
at you.
It's fun.
This
is why I do this.
You're a joke.
Stop it. I want to learn. So what the fuck do you mean by sanctuary cities?
Okay. If you Google it, you'll see that there's many cities across the United States that have become sanctuary cities. They hide criminals who are illegal immigrants, and they hide them from ICE. When ICE puts detainers on them, these cities are hiding them or cutting them loose. That's what the Democrat Party supports. They are 100% for sanctuary cities. It is a fact. It's something you cannot dispute, and people are fed up with it. Because I can tell you right now, Bohemian, I have a daughter, okay?
All right, according to Google, because you didn't answer her question, a sanctuary city is a local government that limits its cooperation with federal immigration authorities.
Can I step in?
Hold on,
I live
Jesus,
in California.
hold on. I was literally trying to learn something, Alfonso. I'm willing for you to... Hold on, Alonzo. I'm willing to sit there and hear you out. I swear to God. But Jen was literally reading the description of what a sanctuary city is, and I want to learn so that way I can better freaking debate individuals. So please let her fucking speak.
Ready? Okay. A sanctuary city is a local government that limits its cooperation with federal immigration authorities. This can include not deporting people or asking about immigration status when making arrests.
Exactly. So when they have an ICE detainer on a criminal illegal immigrant that they have in their city, like the one in Philadelphia that got released and then scraped a little girl, it's
which city?
Philadelphia. So that's the stuff you guys support. You guys support that.
There's no way that we support grape. Nobody.
It's no way saying that it condones violence of.
Hold on, everybody. Shuck, if you say the word one more time, you will be kicked.
Well, it was an accident. Calm down.
Relax. I cannot shut the fuck up now because I cannot calm down because if you do that, I could be taken down. So if you do that one more, shut up. If you do that one more time, you will absolutely be kicked immediately. Okay, that's the warning. I don't care what you think.
Telling people to shut up and calling them stupid.
I don't care what you think.
Seriously, it's a survival thing. He's got to kick you if you do that again.
Listen, I'm okay with that. It was an accident.
Okay, well,
yeah,
whether it's an accident or not, he has to cut you because it's to protect his life.
Everybody stop again. Everybody stop. What I'm saying is, this is your warning. Don't let another accident happen.
Okay,
the end.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you'd better be. Now you're gonna get kicked just because you're fucking disrespectful.
Why do you have to be so disingenuous? Like, you were in the wrong.
Anyway, Alfonso,
absolutely
how you doing?
Disrespectful.
We had you up here. Yeah, Alonzo. I'm sorry, Alonzo.
Hey, how you doing?
We've had you up for a minute. I don't know why you haven't talked, but yeah. Hey, what's up?
So I would like to speak to what the guy just said about the sanctuary cities.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak intelligently about that. Number one, because I live in California in the Bay Area, and I worked for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security for 15 years with a federal security clearance. One of the places I worked at was immigration. So, what he's saying is that we're hiding them. No, we are not. That is not what's happening. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it goes. That's never been the way that it worked, period. But what we're not doing is doing the federal government's job for them. That's it. That's it. That is all. If the federal government does their investigation and finds that someone in fact is here illegally, we work with them to do whatever it is they need to do. We're just not going to do their jobs for them.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So they're not outright reporting from the city. ICE just has to do their job and figure it out.
That's basically it.
Makes sense.
It's far cry from hiding criminals and supporting the raping of children.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Bree? Is that right?
No, Big.
Oh, Big?
It's I think it's Big, yeah.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
And how old are you?
I am 42.
Pronouns?
And he, him.
And vote?
And I will be, I already did vote for Vice President Harris.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I'm an independent voter. I do not play party politics. I listen to the character, the policies of the individual, and I select from there. I do not play party politics and never will donate to either party because I think the system is broken that way. I believe that the reason we have problems in our government and both sides are so volatile that they are is that we have too much money going into government, into these decisions, lobbyists, what have you, super PACs. It doesn't matter. Both sides are at fault there.
Yep, I agree with that.
And therefore, I really wish more people would just stop playing the party politics game. It shouldn't be a blue wave. It shouldn't be a red wave. It should be, I don't know, an orange wave. Not an orange wave, sorry. Definitely not an orange wave. But like a different color, okay? Because we need to start saying as a nation, we are not going to allow two parties to run the show and make us divisive as a country.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, based. Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if I could weigh in on that.
For sure.
I agree with him completely because I voted for Kamala but not because I wanted to, because I literally had no choice, because anybody is better than Donald Trump. But we should have more viable choices. Yes, there were some other people that were on the ballot, but their chances of success are slim and none. And if I vote for them, I'm throwing my vote away. And I'm tired of voting for the lesser of the two evils. Why does there have to be someone that's evil? But Donald Trump is just so bad for this country. You have no idea. If you haven't read Project 2025, I implore everyone, please just read it. Read it, and no matter who you are, whether you support Trump or Kamala or whoever, if you just take the time to read the document, you will know that you have to do what's right. You won't believe, you will know, because this will affect every last one of us. Even if you think you're one of the protected class, think again, because you're wrong.
Sarah, how are you doing? I did mute you when you came in. I'll send the invite. Sarah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. How are you doing? We've got a lot of background noise.
That is a lawnmower.
That is a terrible amount of background noise.
I am good. I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm pretty good. How old are you? Sarah,
how are you guys doing?
Sarah, we can't really hear you. You got too much background noise. Sarah, you got too much background noise. Where are you?
I'm in Lafayette, Indiana.
No, I mean, like where, why is it so loud? That's what I mean. Is there a way to make it less loud? Okay, you can mute while you're not talking, but like when you are talking, it's gonna be a shit show. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, well, if it gets to be too much, we'll have to drop you.
Can I make another point really quick, guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so this is the thing. I try to be very open to listening to my friends and family, sadly, that I have that are Trump supporters. And the overall
hey, what's up?
consensus of what I'm hearing them say is most of the ones that are like level-headed, right? Not the ones that are what's the word? Spicy, I guess you could say. So I hear them say that they're worried about businesses. They want a businessman, a business person in the White House to, and so I guess what we need to understand is, and I'm trying to hear them from that standpoint. I think it's a good standpoint. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, we do need to have an aspect of business and understanding of how business works. However, for a man that's going to tariff entire countries and businesses to try and like curtail whatever he thinks that's going to do is actually going to tank the economy, and I don't think Trump supporters realize that.
Yeah, for sure. Eternal, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good. We're just, doing the old friendly panel thing, trying to get some Trumpers up here and have them actually engage in conversation as well. They've been a little weird so far. Wise, how are you doing?
That's hard to do.
Good. How about you?
Pretty good. How old are you?
I'm only 27.
And what are your pronouns?
He, him.
And vote?
Honestly, right now I'm kind of torn. Like, I don't even know if I want to vote at all.
The old undecided voter. What do we have to do to make you vote for Kamala?
I think the hardest thing with her is like after being in the service and like her last debate of like lying on troop placements and like saying that we're not involved in like any direct wars or anything, it just kind of like rubbed me off the wrong way.
It rubbed you off the wrong way? I don't think that's how you want to say that.
Okay,
That's a weird use of words.
Sorry about that, wrong terms. I think it just kind of like it felt a little offensive on just like it would be nice for her to go up there and just like say like tell the truth like how it really is.
Which is what?
Like, I mean, a big thing for me was like she goes on and just says like, well, like we're the only administration that has us in no current wars when you like have like friends of mine and like other people just like stationed all over the world constantly fighting on a daily.
Wait, Wise, you say that you're military, yeah?
I mean, I'm like retired now, but
Okay, so you understand that there's specific bases that you might be put in that are not necessarily considered war spaces, yeah?
I mean, I'm understanding of that, but like everybody knows we're in Africa. It's point proven.
Okay, but again, if you were in the military, you would know the difference between the fact that you're stationed somewhere versus it's a war zone, yeah?
I mean, I get where you're coming from.
Where in Africa is a war zone?
Let's see. Outside Somalia, Kenya's a war zone. Djibouti is a war zone.
No. It wouldn't have been. Hold on, but on your documentation, it would not have been dictated that it was a war zone that you were being deployed to.
When you go, my unit just went to Djibouti like last year, and Djibouti's a war zone.
Did it specifically? No. Did it specifically say war zone?
Yeah, you get
or
hazard.
That you were or were you deported there?
You get hazard pay and everything because it is a constant. Because you have to go on because it's a constant.
I'm not talking about your pay difference. Hold on, but I'm not talking about your pay difference. I'm talking about what it specifically said on your paperwork.
There is an actual designation for war zones.
I mean, fair point. I guess I see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, she was careful with her wording, and it's technically true, but she also did publicly apologize for that shortly after, just because it's insensitive, obviously.
I think my biggest thing is like trying to filter out all the misinformation between the two.
Okay, but you're spreading misinformation by not sitting there and dictating the correct terminology to everything.
I mean, you were nice enough to show me the correct terminology.
Yeah, we've.
I shouldn't have had to.
I think we can move past that particular one. Is there anything else that that Harris has rubbed you off the wrong way with?
Personally, not really. I mean, I don't really support Biden that much, but if her views are different than his and has a good outcome for the country, then I would be open to voting.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so what can I say to sway you into voting for Harris?
What would you need?
I don't know. Probably just better resources, not being just going online and just constantly seeing one person saying one thing and then this source saying the other.
Well, you can go directly to her website. She invites people to go view that and everything that she has listed there to inform yourself.
I mean, I'm definitely not voting for Trump just after the whole have us having.
Well, that's a step in the right direction. Yeah, but if you really want to educate yourself on the opposite side, you can go on their platform and you can see what they have to say.
Yeah, she has a full policy listed for just about anything you could possibly want on her site. A lot of people are still saying she doesn't have anything listed on her site, but she has for a long time at this point.
I think it's also important to make a distinction between Biden and Harris. Biden has been around in politics for forever, and he supports and is supported by an old white male oligarchy. We're talking about a POC woman coming into power, a young woman who will be able to come with a fresh perspective. And that's why I decided to vote for Harris.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Game God 420, great name, Mr. Game God 420. That's probably a child. But anyway, I did invite you. Don't go to Trump's. It's full of lies, according to you, too, LOL, y'all crazy. I don't think Trump's policy is full of lies, actually, and I think it's terrible. I've read the whole thing, and I think it's actually really bad. I don't think he's lying about it.
I think
Yeah,
the
that's the
big lie
concerning
is
part.
him trying to say that he has nothing to do with Project 2025. That's the lie.
100%.
How many times is his name in it?
317 times.
Enough.
You know that I knew that shit off top of my head. Damn it.
Eternal, you had anything wild recently? You had anything wild come up? Oh, you're
yeah, there was one guest that I had that like I totally just disproved every point he made, and at the end he said he's still voting Trump. So I was just like, what the fuck?
All right. Yeah, I've had a couple of those too.
I mean, yeah.
Those are basically
we
waste
all
of time.
have.
Nothing you could have said
Yeah.
would have swayed them either way.
And it's
I had
never
this
really
one lady-
about convincing them directly. It's always about the people in the chat, right?
Yeah.
You're right. I had this one lady specifically was like blue on almost every freaking aspect except for freaking abortion, and then she also was a survivor. What? It was such a weird conversation to have.
No.
Like, what was her argument? How? Like, I don't understand. I'm confused, genuinely.
Basically that, there are individuals that lie about having SA type stuff. And I was like, you're even a survivor. Like, it was, no matter what I had 2 or 3 people up on the panel. No matter what any of us said, I kid you not, she was like, well, I just, my bullshit meter went up with E. Jean Carroll. What?
Wow. These people are fascinating.
It was the weirdest, dude. It was the weirdest fucking conversation I've ever had. Like, it was just such a icky conversation.
Somebody actually, Ladonathan, can I invite you up here? Like, you haven't requested, but I'm going to invite you because I actually want to talk about that. I want to talk about what you asked. Why did Kamala stop the border DNA testing? Which is like, that's a wild question to have to ask. I'm not sure why you would need to DNA test people at the border to begin with. Why would that be a thing at all? What?
You might have too many people up on your panel, though. To be honest, and honestly, if you want to drop me, that's totally fine.
I thought you could have up to 8.
I think that's if you had that certain layout.
You guys can.
Oh yeah, you're right.
No. So I'm not. No. So I'm not even talking about.
Layout.
I'm not even talking about how many people you can have. I'm talking about MAGA gets really fucking scared if you think that you have a bunch of friendlies up.
Oh, fair, and we do.
No, you shouldn't. Hold on. So you shouldn't have it like that either. You should make it to where yours is the main one.
Yeah. All right. I think so. Yeah. That was a good point, though. I can only have 6 people with the other layout. How do I change it back?
Try hitting the expand on your box.
Well, to be honest, it might be time to just restart for you anyway.
Oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we've been sitting at around 100 pretty much the whole time. It's not that bad.
Yeah. Well, but I'm just saying for like if you want MAGAs to come out.
Yep. There we go. I opened up spots. There you are. FX. Can I call you FX?
Adrian is fine.
Adrian, how are you doing?
Adrian.
Doing pretty good. Tired.
Nice. Same. Age?
24.
Pronouns?
He, him.
And vote?
I'm not okay. I'm gonna be very clear when I say this. I'm not necessarily undecided. Okay, so I want to make that very clear. However, for the past month, I've been sitting in the far right wing of the media, and it's very easy when you get stuck in that space to want to vote for Trump. I come here today because I've debated against a few people and I've been shut down, honestly, truthfully, and the information that was brought to me, I was uneducated about. I come to you today in a nature where I would just like to ask a few questions and just see if you guys have any facts that I may or may not know about, and just kind of try to absorb that information if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, sure. For let's do something different. For every question, somebody call it as if you calling it as a buzzer, okay?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First question I have, because this has kind of been like a big argument between me and my family, and I've been trying to work around it and trying to figure it out. So, essentially, um, the two jobs that allegedly, let me just say allegedly, that Kamala Harris failed to do, which was border peace between us and Russia,
Nothing.
and what? Oh, um,
Sorry.
no, no, it's okay. Border peace between us and Russia, and the other one was border patrol being such a far far problem. What are those? What are those two? Am I wrong in saying that border patrol, that whole thing, she failed in that? And am I wrong in saying that she, when it came to peace between us and Russia, did she not goad us into getting into war with them, or am I wrong, or you know?
Okay, so as a moderator, this is obviously two different questions. Which one do you want to do first?
Okay, no. So what he's asking is the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody more versed in foreign policy?
I mean, I could talk about Russia and Ukraine, but nobody really knows what was said between Kamala and the leaders of Ukraine or the leaders of Russia.
Right.
Nobody knows what was said in those talks, and you can't really point to that as a cause for the invasion at all because you don't know what was said. Putin just wanted to do something, and Putin.
Word.
Also, the fact that Putin was occupying land in Crimea throughout the entirety of Trump's term, and Trump did nothing to get him out. So, you really think that Trump is going to be better for this situation with that?
In my general opinion, what I've seen so far, whenever it came to peace, that was kind of the main point, or not the main point. Forgive me. It's been kind of, whenever it came to anybody else from any other country, it's been nothing but peace. So I wonder, you know, unless I'm wrong.
I wouldn't say peace so much as Trump placating.
What do you mean when you say that?
So Trump and Putin are friendly. They are friends.
Okay.
Do you think
you're friends? Because there's a difference.
They're friends. I think they're friends.
I think if he gets in, he leaves Ukraine dry to hang out. I think he just pulls out completely and stops funding him, is what I think.
Yeah, I would generally agree that would be his decision, which would obviously condemn them to being annexed by Russia immediately.
Is there, and not to say if there's any proof, because I hate to throw that, but I just, what would lead you to believe that they are?
He said Russia should end the war. Coming from him, the meaning of that is obvious.
How so?
Maybe
I'm ignorant, but I'm trying to figure it out.
If he didn't mean what I think everybody on the panel knows he meant by saying Russia should end the war, nobody says a country should end the war, meaning that they should just stop doing what they're doing, right? That's not the words I would choose. How would you say you want Putin to stop trying to annex Ukraine in this situation?
Wouldn't it be just the same as he mentioned it? Just, stop the war.
No. If you're a reasonable
with what he said.
If you're a reasonable politician, you're not going to use that type of language. You're going to be a little bit more direct and, yes, political, but you are going to be a little bit more direct on what your meaning is.
Even if he had said Russia should stop the war, that makes more sense than Russia should end the war. How do wars end?
How do wars? Well, that's pretty general. I mean,
there are a few
with
ways.
With a victor.
Yeah, or a
Right.
treaty.
That's really what it comes down to.
But
Okay.
but this isn't a war that will end in a treaty because you're dealing with an actual dictator on one side, and he wants the land.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. What about the question about the border? Because a lot of people are saying that she failed at taking care of the border situation, and on top of the fact,
She wasn't in charge of it.
She wasn't in charge of it.
Whose job is the border?
I thought she oversaw that whole thing.
No.
Now, to answer this, I would need to ask
that-
you a question, which would be, what do you think is the responsibility of the vice president?
That I'm not too well versed on, honest to God. But I know that she.
Alright, so I'm sure you're probably going to ask what Kamala Harris's accomplishments are. So, before if you even ask that question, I want to ask you, what are Mike Pence's accomplishments?
Well, I haven't said that. So to say that assumption, that's
Okay.
completely wrong.
Now,
But
hold on.
you were
That
saying
is
that the
like
vice president's
99.
in charge of the border.
Right. So 99% of individuals that specifically ask that question are the individuals that don't know what the jobs are of a vice president. That's what Eternal was kind of going towards. So can you give us the 3 things that the vice president is responsible for? Main things.
I honestly couldn't even tell you. Honest to God, I
Okay.
was just I'd seen that and I questioned it.
Okay, and that's fine. So if you can't give us the 3 things that a vice president is responsible for, that is where Eternal was going to is, well, do you know a single thing that Pence did during his vice presidency?
I heard a few things, but honest to God, it wasn't nothing, and it wasn't nothing good at all.
Okay. So can you even tell us what those not so much things that you think is a good thing is?
Not to my remembrance, no, not off the top of my head.
Okay, so then there's not really a reasonable back and forth in between individuals that know what the laws and things that happen in history is versus those who don't.
Well, that's why I'm coming here in the nature of trying to go back and
Right.
forth. I just want to seek
Okay.
knowledge.
So I cannot tell you what specifically excuse me, Pence did in his vice presidency, but the fact that you don't even know what the 3 things that the vice presidency actually does makes this a little bit harder. I don't know the bullet points off of the top of my head. Does anybody know that off the top of their head?
Tie-breaking votes in the Senate, taking over if the president should croak or otherwise be incapacitated, and there's the 3rd that I always forget. Anybody want to fill that in?
You somewhat came
Might
at
be
me
certifying the
knowing, but
election.
you didn't know
Hold on. So
yeah, certification of the election. Yeah.
Thank you. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. I apologize. Sometimes I have ADHD in separation there. I knew what that meant. I didn't know how to word it. Is really the difference between the knowledge versus the verbatim. So, anyway.
Okay.
And that's fine. If you're neurospicy, I'm 100% willing to sit there and skate that through for you, bud. Swear to God. But there's a lot of individuals that come up here and sit there and claim that they know all of the things and then know none of the things.
Well, yeah, luckily I'm not one of those people. I'm just seeking to try to find out these things, these claims that I hear from right wing. And as you can tell, I don't know certain things. That's why I'm seeking out information. And I know that it might not be the best, time, spent. You guys might be seeking something else, but I just, I see that you guys are well versed in everything that is of Harris, or not everything, but a lot more than me.
Yeah, I feel this getting a little bit cyclical. Where exactly are we at? Can we give a brief recap for what's happening here and what we're trying to answer?
Yeah. So basically, to my understanding of what was going on, and I might be totally off. Basically, we were getting a baseline of information for an individual that may be voting for Donald Trump when it came to specific policies, as I originally what I remember. I don't remember what that specific policy was, though. I'm gonna be honest on that.
Or are you asking me if there was?
Yeah. Well, you had 2 points to begin with. What were they?
Well, the first point necessarily is just something that I had overheard, and I had just questioned the legitimacy of it, and therefore I brought it to you guys, which
Right.
was
What was it?
okay. So the first thing was the border and what she did when it came to the border, and why. Another thing.
Oh, right. So that's why we were asking about the 3 things that a vice president does. So
Not her
one
job.
of those 3 things. So one of those 3 things we proved is basically not "quote unquote" border czar. That was never her job.
Well, then
Yeah,
why are people saying that was her job?
Yeah, border czar isn't an actual U.S. position. We don't have any actual positions with the title czar. The right wing likes to call positions czar. Generally, that has been just a right wing party thing to do. But no, she had been tasked with like looking into the border and trying to push for legislation that would fight the actual root causes of people coming in from Central America and further south.
But it was
And
more. But it was more of an information journey, not necessarily like. Yeah.
She can't push for legislation in her position. She can't. So all she can do is work with legislators to actually make the legislation that can hopefully then get passed, which was the Langford Border Bill, which probably didn't cut down on root causes for Central and Southern America crossings, but actually would have tightened up on the actual border crisis for sure.
So with that being said, is that particularly why, if I'm not mistaken, Border Patrol is not, what's the word? Let's just say, for a lack of better word, sponsoring Kamala, and they're sponsoring Trump. I think
Well,
sponsors
that's not a
Kamala.
okay.
Kamala. I'm sorry, I apologize.
So yes, I agree with you there, but
So who?
That's
but-
not necessarily.
But if it's not her job, whose job is border security?
Would it? This is just me taking a wild guess, but would it be Border Control?
Department of Homeland Security oversees it.
Okay.
So the head of the Department of Homeland Security is still blaming this on Kamala, and it's kind of a hilarious read. Because it's like you go to the Department of Homeland Security actual.gov website, and this is just Mayorkas really bad mouthing Kamala over the entirety of the page, which is like, it just looks unprofessional. And it's ultimately it is his job to get this under control.
How do you guys feel about the state of Biden as is? Because I know that for a long time, you know, I have a lot of sympathy for him because he's an older gentleman that's been here doing this for a while, and we can, you know, kind of see where he's he's an older gentleman at this point. It's kind of, you know, it's time for him to rest, if I could say that properly. Who
You could make the same argument for Trump.
Oh, for sure.
Sure, yeah. But speaking more towards Biden, because that's who I'm speaking on, would we say that Harris for this time, or Harris, I'm sorry, Kamala? Am I saying that correctly?
Kamala.
Okay, so would we say that Kamala was taking care of the government, not for the entirety of Biden's presidency, but for a good, decent portion of it? She's been kind of overseeing more things that would be more so in his chair.
No, that she has to preside over Senate meetings. So no, there's no way she would have had time to do the job of the president and sit in on Senate hearings. That maybe his cabinet has taken up more of the responsibilities, but definitely not her.
Okay.
That would also be a conflict of interest too.
Yeah.
No.
I had wondered about that, just to try to make things make sense. And I see what you guys are saying. Last point, because I don't want to take up too much time. Or last question. A lot of people say that Trump is for the rich, by the rich, and that's just that. There is no other dispute. My question is that a lot of the people, I think it's over oh my God, I want to say it's over 80 something different millionaires and billionaires. They are Democratic. Why would they not be voting for Trump if they're for them? Or why would
Well,
they not be Republican? I'm sorry.
okay, do you have a spreadsheet that we can look at that specifies the wealthy specific Democrat versus Republican?
Like, where are you getting your statistics from?
I can't give you a specific site right now, but
Okay.
So where did you get those numbers?
Yeah, so we to be able to have this debate, because my understanding that that's not how that goes when it comes to the wealthy versus anyway.
I could also take this without a source. I mean, if you said 80 something billionaires?
80 something billion. It's like
Okay.
80, 83 or 84 billion.
So out of the probably 200 America has, I would estimate, maybe.
Oh no, 760 some odd. The last
okay,
time I looked.
we have a lot more now. Okay, so out of the 760, about 10% support the Democratic Party. That seems about right. That's a brutally low percentage. And there are some people who are rich and still support paying their fair share into the actual economy.
Okay.
That's the only thing, yeah.
I think that specific statistic was speaking not towards the general population of people who are rich. I think they were speaking more so about big names such as excluding Elon Musk, but
no, these are the top billionaires in the United States. That's what okay, so I heard the word billion. Was I wrong?
No, millionaire and billionaire, both.
Oh, okay. So I heard billionaire. So there's like 768 different billionaires in the United States of the United States of America. Specifically, they only live in Texas, California, and Florida, I believe it is. Like the top 30%, 40% or something like that. So so that's what I was reading off of. I heard billion. So I went off of the number of billion. And yes, so it would make sense that 20 to 30-ish% would vote Democrat.
How so?
Because I do very much believe that there are the very few individuals that are billionaires that actually vote in the best interest of the United States of America, regular people.
I would highly encourage you to watch the movie Trumbo with Bryan Cranston. He plays a rich communist in old America that was very, very Red Scare. So a rich communist during the Red Scare who kind of achieved a national stage for being a communist. It's actually a pretty good watch. It's also got Louis C.K. So I mean, if that turns you off, definitely, I understand that. But Bryan Cranston always does a great job.
What was it called again, Goldie?
Trumbo, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I'll definitely take a look at it. I really appreciate your guys' time. I was just, I really appreciate all the information you brought forward. I'll definitely keep researching, and if I come up with anything, I hope I stumble across you guys again.
Oh yeah, it was good to talk to you. I usually do 1v1s. Panels are relegated strictly to Wednesdays, so.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right. Yeah, that was cool. That was chill. How's everybody doing?
It's a night, that's for sure.
Definitely a night.
I'm honestly nervous about this election. I have a feeling that Trump is probably going to win.
No,
I actually
why?
have the exact opposite inkling.
I think she's gonna win by a landslide just because everybody underestimates the youth voter.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that that's gonna very much change it. And I
also the silent generation is out, and a lot of the boomers have also fallen to the sword at this point.
I was just gonna say that my grandmother, who originally voted for Donald Trump, is voting for Kamala Harris this time.
Based.
W grandma.
Well, yeah, I'm worried about what my generation is. There are a lot of Hamas apologists, like people who are not voting for either one because they don't like how they're giving funding towards Israel, and I feel like that those people might jeopardize the election.
Yes, we also we also have Marsha Brady in the comments, one of my subscribers who is also a boomer. W Marsha. Marsha.
I actually did a small D&D campaign where I was a honey badger who was named Martha, who was the designated getaway driver, whether it was carriage, vehicle, or otherwise. And I very much plan. So I also worked at the movie theater when the Batman versus Superman came out, and of course both of their mothers was named Martha. So I really wanted somebody to sit there and be like, "We've got to save Martha!" Like I just wanted that to happen, and it never fucking happened.
Oh yeah. Trent Larkin, you did request for a little bit, and when I tried to, I was just about to click to accept, and you dropped out. And then I did also invite you. I do want to talk to you about what you said, that Trump stands for the Constitution. And I think you said Democrats don't care about veterans. So, wild takes, but anyway.
There's a lot of silent MAGA in these comments.
I mean, if Trump stands for the Constitution, then I have $1 billion in my bank account.
Right? Exactly. Jim, I can't invite you. Yo-Yo the Barber says, "You soft as fuck." I love it. Come up. I invited you. Talk to us. Hell yeah. There we go.
What's up, soy boy?
How's it going? Let me solo this guy for a little bit. Barber, how's it going?
No
How
problem.
old are you? Barber, you're kind of glitching out a little bit.
What's up, soy boy?
How old are you?
34.
And what are your pronouns?
Man, listen, bro. If you're a guy, you're a guy. If you're a girl, you're a girl.
Okay, so we're gonna assume you mean he, him, but also like chill the fuck out, dude. Take it easy.
Also biologically not true.
You kind of got me hyped up by seeing one of your videos before you popped up on my timeline, and you was telling somebody to shut up.
Did I trigger you?
A little bit,
nice.
Because you telling people to shut up.
Hell yeah.
Over the internet.
I could tell you that. Do you want that?
If you were in person, I guarantee you wouldn't be talking like that to any other man.
Oh yeah, I would. I have before. Yeah, I would do it again. I would talk to you that way for sure.
I promise I would knock your mustache right off your face, bro. I guarantee.
No, you wouldn't. You ain't got shit, dude.
I guarantee you.
You ain't got shit, dude.
I guarantee you, bro.
Okay. Bro. Yeah. Threats on TikTok, you're gonna catch a ban.
It's not a threat. I'm not threatening you.
It's a threat.
It's not a threat. I'm just.
Let's be honest.
I just don't like men.
But anyway, Barber, do you have anything
crazy?
Barber, do you have anything?
You know what I'm saying?
Like
politics aside,
Barber.
Hey, Yo-Yo, I'm a woman. I can sit there and tell you to shut the fuck up as well. Is that going to trigger you just as much or even more?
Of course it
will. My wife will slap the shit out you.
Oh, because
okay. I'm not going to hit a woman. But I'm just saying.
I'm so scared. I'm so very scared.
That's what Democrats
tell her to take her earrings. Tell her to take her earrings out too.
You talk disrespectfully to people when they don't agree with you. And it's
crazy.
Okay,
you're hilarious.
Is she gonna be in a hunch position?
Puka, really, let me solo him for a minute. Barber, do you have anything legitimate to contribute to the conversation? Do you have any reasons you're voting for Trump?
No, I'm just saying to respect people.
No. Do you have any reasons you're voting for Trump?
Because things were way better when Trump was around. And Biden, he's been gone for
wait, Eternal, solo for just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay,
no,
sorry.
wait. So Trump supporters are not patriots. That's my prompt. Do you disagree with that?
I'm a veteran.
Okay, so and if you're a Trump supporter, you're not a patriot. And if you're a Trump supporter, you're not a patriot. Do you disagree with that?
If you're a Harris supporter, you're not a patriot. If you're a Democrat,
wow, what a good comeback! What a good comeback, man! You're so good at this. Wow.
So
Trump is Trump is anti-Constitution. Do you agree with that?
What makes you say that?
This, for
They
instance.
never mention it. They don't talk about the American flag. By the way, the American flag, we got some of the greatest congressmen warriors here that you have anywhere. And congressmen, go to Congress soon, like immediately, but soon. We should give a 1-year sentence in jail to anybody that burns the American flag.
Yeah, so that's absolutely against your First Amendment rights. Do you agree?
But that's it. It is, you know.
Okay,
It's
so he doesn't appreciate the First Amendment.
It is against freedom of speech.
Okay,
And
so
if
he
you wanna
doesn't
burn a
appreciate
flag,
the First
If you
Amendment.
want to burn a flag, that's your right as an American, right?
Okay, good. That's the
same
right
time-
answer.
But at the same time, if you burn a flag in front of me or anybody that I know that's been downrange, that has put in time and blood, sweat, and tears and had lost people next to them to protect your freedoms, and you're lighting a flag on fire, like at the end of the day, you know, nobody's gonna save you from an ass whooping, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
no, wait, hold on. Yeah, what are you gonna do, soy boy? What are you gonna do, soy boy?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Bro, I already told you, all that tough talk on the internet don't mean nothing, bro.
Oh, don't. That's why you came up here, because you were triggered by it.
I got my address
So,
on my page.
so you said it's
You know what I mean?
absolute.
So if
So
you
you
wanna
said
test that, you can
you
bring the
said
camera.
you said yo yo.
You know what I mean?
You said yo yo. Hold on, chill the fuck out, okay? Take it easy, baby. So you said it's absolutely their right, and that is a right that you fought to protect, and yet if they do it around you, you're threatening them.
Yeah.
So that's dumb. That's absolutely dumb.
You could think that, but
Because
it's the same,
you
it's the
have
same way
no
as your-
because
it's the same,
you
it's the
you
same as the
no
way that your
shut up
your
shut the fuck up. You don't have a right to assault people. That is not protected by the Constitution.
Right.
So you're dumb. The end. All right, we will invite you to unmute, and then I'm done soloing. Everybody take it from here. This guy's silly.
All right, I have a question. You said you served, right?
This guy's silly.
All right, I have a question. You said you served,
The
right?
echo.
Yeah, I did.
Echo.
So
Yeah, so you muted me?
swipe out and swipe back in.
You muted me?
Swipe out and swipe back in.
Oh my god.
There you go. Oh, he just left. Okay, I'm sure he'll
God.
re-request.
Honestly, I'm glad for it because my ADHD is not handling that right now.
Yeah,
My question to him was
I
going to
don't have too
be,
much of a problem with it, but that makes
what
sense.
what his oath was it to the flag or the Constitution?
Right.
Yeah. Army Ranger, how are you doing?
Maybe
Good, how are you?
can answer.
Pretty good. How old are you?
45.
And what are your pronouns?
Male.
So he, him.
That's
And
in
who
the
are you
pronoun.
voting for?
Listen, you guys can have your pronouns. I'm a
No,
male.
it's
You-
just a
you-
respect.
you have
Dude,
pronouns.
it's just a respect fucking thing. Like, just
So,
answer the
he,
question. There you
I
go.
answered
How
it.
Nice.
I
hard was
You
answered
that?
got
it.
it. Yeah, you got
What's
it.
your question,
It isn't hard. Who are you voting for?
Jesus.
Trump.
And how on earth can you do that as a service member?
Why wouldn't I?
He doesn't
Because
respect
he
the
referred
Constitution.
he referred to
Doesn't
service
respect-
members
okay,
as suckers
hold on.
and losers. He said McCain wasn't a war hero because he was captured. Yeah, he also undermined the Medal of Honor, and then as well as the fact he illegally had a campaign event at the Arlington Cemetery, as well as the fact he was a draft dodger. Donald Trump just pisses and shits all over our fucking military unless they praise him and benefit him in some way.
Damn, that question's one of your strong points, isn't it? I like that.
There you go. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's all you have.
That's not enough.
That's all you
Oh my
have.
goodness.
So that's all you have. So the
That
fact
was
that
plenty. I thought that was
So-
great answer. Shit.
Oh, you thought that was a great answer considering under the current administration we're short $15 billion in the veteran affairs system that they won't vote on, and the Democrats refuse to vote on for us to get what we need as veterans. But that's not a problem.
If I remember correctly,
And all you're
Kamala
bringing up
Harris.
is some.
Hold on.
All you're bringing
hold
up
on.
is some.
Hey,
Hey,
let her
hey.
you
talk.
just said
Yeah,
something.
now
Hold
you're
on.
muted.
So you just So you just brought up something, and I was going to sit there and say that Kamala Harris wants to raise vet benefits by 10%. I'm not saying off the top of my head specifically what you're particularly talking about. If you want to give me what bill that they were specifically voting on, I'll Google it right fucking now. Jesus.
Look at him. He's got to go Google it.
I mean, that's fine.
So I did mute you, Army Ranger, but I have also invited you to unmute at this point. I'll do it again. No, I can't because it's too soon. So you have an invite. Unmute. And be more respectful next time.
Be more respectful.
Yeah, don't talk over people.
Okay. Sorry about that. I apologize that I hurt people's feelings. Heaven forbid.
Okay, don't.
Hold
that's
on.
again. That's being disrespectful. Right. Don't do that.
So first of all, the Arlington Cemetery thing.
No. What I was specifically asking about, what bill was it that you claimed that Democrats didn't vote on when it came to vets benefits? So I would absolutely love to educate myself on that. If you could give me what the bill was, I will look that up right now. I literally have my fingers up on my keys right now.
Now he's looking it up.
That's fine, and that's fine. I would rather him sit there and
If
tell
it
me an
furthers
actual
the
bill.
conversation, absolutely.
Exactly.
You asked me to do it, and I want to be specific on doing that and not give you
Okay, fine. Did you find it?
No, that's what I just said. I would rather you look it up versus you tell me some bullshit that I can't verify. I would rather verify it. I do also find it very funny that we can sit there and most of the time sit there and say verbatim what a policy is off the top of our head. But if we do that, then they're sitting there and claiming that we're reading it off of a fucking prompt, just like Kamala Harris is, quote unquote. And then to sit there and say that even if we have it off the top of our head, oh, that's bullshit, bring it up.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you can sit there and have a claim and not have a source, but I immediately have to have a source. That seems to be a very running theme with fucking MAGA.
I didn't ask you for a source. I'm reading it to you because I have a TBI that I suffered during combat, so I have to go back and look it up because I can't remember things over a long term. So I apologize if I have to do that. But I'd rather
okay, and that's totally fine. I'm saying overall with MAGA, that seems to be the fucking theme. But go ahead, Army. What is the bill? Oh, okay. You teacupped again, and we can't hear you. If you think you can, we can hear you.
Protect it. 1 second, please.
Yep.
I believe it's called Protecting Regular Order is what it's called. It was a bill brought to the table by a Republican from Alaska, and the Democratic senator stopped it. It's to bring up $15 billion that we're short in the Veteran Affairs system.
Okay,
do you
by who?
I just looked this up. This is a $15 billion budget shortfall that was actually created because of the PACT Act, which increased the eligibility for VA benefits.
Right,
let me finish. So 740,000 veterans are now enrolled in VA because a lot more are eligible at this point because of the PACT Act. So now the budget has to increase. So we have to figure out how to do that. There was a proposal to just increase the budget, but I don't know that there actually was a bill tied to it as far as I can find. I'm still looking for that.
Okay, but as far as me voting for him, that's a choice that I have. There are things that I don't agree with Miss Harris. I'm not saying.
Hold on. No. I don't want to pivot off of something else. We're still looking up and trying to understand what you're trying to talk about when it comes to this protecting regular order. Can you not maybe look up what the bill number is?
I didn't see a bill number in the article, so if it was, maybe I'm misspeaking and calling it a bill. If I apologize for that. but
Okay, so I want the legislation. I want to know what specifically Donald Trump did for you as a veteran. I don't want like an article, headline.
Well, I can speak. I can speak on that. That's fine. We can speak about that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I want.
Okay. But what he did for me as a veteran, me being a disabled combat veteran, I was able to receive more care under the VA system through a system called community care. I was able to see better doctors and seeing the VA specific doctors. I was able to go to doctors like you all are able to go to, the best of the best.
Well, I cannot because I don't have health insurance, so try that again. But
Okay.
the thing is like, okay, so again, I want to read documentation. I don't necessarily want your specific opinion.
Well, when I'm speaking, okay, I see. I don't have documentation. I mean, I don't
Okay.
pay. I can't pay taxes because all my stuff comes from VA disability. I don't
Okay,
benefit
again,
whether I have
I don't-
kids. I
okay,
don't benefit from that, so I
I
don't know.
don't. Okay, so just like if I were to talk about literally anything else, AB, SA, etc., anything, you would want some form of documentation proving that Donald Trump did that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want documentation because if you're going to make a claim like that, I'm willing to hear you out, but I want to see what a parallel option or documentation says on the matter, because that's just automatically how my brain is going to work ultimately in general. Because I'm not there's not a thing that CNBC or Fox News can sit there and tell me that I'm not going to look up and have my own viewpoint on. So give me documentation that I can read real quick, and then we can have a debate on that. Otherwise, I have to take what you're saying as kind of You know what I mean?
I don't have documentation from whatever was passed for the Department of Veteran Affairs at the time when he was in office. I can just tell you that what our doctors
That you have
were telling
feelings
us,
about it.
no, what our doctors were telling us
No,
and what was
no,
given to
no,
us through the
because you
Department of
haven't given
Defense.
me because you've not given me a source, so I kind of have to take it as your viewpoint. I'm willing to listen to your viewpoint as long as I'm able to give my own viewpoint back, but I can't have my own viewpoint back if I cannot see documentation that I can
Well, I
read
can't.
that I can read and dictate my own personal view on. Yes?
Army, what you're saying is it's a little anecdotal if we don't have something concrete in front of us.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything, so I apologize.
Okay, so then that's totally fine. Army, I very much want you to look that up. I need you to either DM me or meet me on another live that I have separately, and we can talk about it. But until then, I cannot talk about it because it's very anecdotal.
Okay.
Yeah, so honestly, just in general, it looks like the PACT Act, while obviously it increased veteran eligibility for benefits, it looked like, yeah, maybe there was a slight shortfall on the actual thought of how much the budget would need to increase. But it looks like the VA has plans to cut some of its recent hires to cover that. So they have over 400,000 employees for the first time in their history and are thinking about cutting that by about 10,000 employees. So that's not a bunch.
And that's not a bunch, but as veterans, that's the last thing we need. We can't even keep therapists and doctors around. So
yeah, but they literally just grew it by more than 7% in the last year.
Yeah.
2 seconds, if you would allow me, Goldie. I do apologize. Jim down there in the comments. If you would like to have a one-on-one conversation with me, I will set up my own live and we can go one-on-one if you would like to. You keep chirping down there in the comments about me, and I would very much love to absolutely just not in a pleasant way, just eat the fucking shit out of your ass. So let's go. I'm willing.
Can I just ask you guys one question? You had made a statement to the veteran prior to me. You had asked him about somebody burning the flag, and if that was their First Amendment right, correct?
No, it is their First Amendment right.
It is, but at the same time, as us all being humans, you don't find it to be disrespectful to the people?
No, not to the veterans, not at all.
You don't find it disrespectful?
Not at all, because that's not what. Because you're not fighting for a piece of cloth. You're fighting for the rights of the citizens.
The cloth is what represents our country.
Yeah, but you're not fighting for the cloth.
You know
what
what's
you
more
fight?
insulting to veterans?
You wear that.
Voting for Trump, who fucking cooed our government that they fought for.
I didn't hear you, bud.
You know what's worse than burning the American flag for veterans? What's more disrespectful to veterans? Voting for Trump, who literally cooed our government and said many disrespectful things towards veterans.
I mean, people say disrespectful things every day. Some of you have said disrespectful things.
Are you going to gloss over the attempt to coup the government?
Attempt to coup the government on what, January 6th?
No. Do you know anything about the false elector scheme that led up to January 6th? Do you know why January 6th had to be a thing?
Why?
Because of the false elector scheme. So Donald Trump instated false slates of electors for 7 different swing states and tried to have Mike Pence certify them at the certification ceremony on January 6th. That was the whole, I hope Mike Pence does the right thing. That's what Trump was saying the whole time, right? So that's why his followers were there for a 4-hour inflammatory speech. That's the whole reason. So that was Trump's attempt to overthrow the government with an election. Like he was faking electoral votes.
But he didn't even give the speech at the Capitol building. And the Capitol, those people were
No, but the certification ceremony happens at the Capitol building. Right.
True statement.
I'm not talking about January 6th. I'm talking about the false elector scheme that led up to January 6th.
Okay.
So he was generating false electoral votes for 7 different swing states. Do you think that is acceptable?
People in politics on both sides of the fence, my friend.
They don't do that.
There's no both sides to this argument.
Listen, Democrats and Republicans alike have done things, and I've done things.
Not this.
Please stop.
Not to this extent.
Can I finish? Can I finish, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
It's gonna be silly.
There's been times where I've been in combat zones where I've taken money from CIA and specific groups and given it in direct order from the President of the United States of America, both Democratic and Republican, and given it to terrorists and told them to keep their mouths shut until we're done voting in the United States of America and they can go back to do what they were doing when we were done. So to say that people don't do it on both sides of the fence, you're absolutely incorrect.
That absolutely has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So no, it absolutely does not. We're talking about Donald Trump himself generating false electoral votes, nullifying the votes of millions of Americans in those states. And in fact, if it had gone through, it would have nullified the voices of every single U.S. citizen that voted. Do you agree with that?
I don't, because I think it's a bunch of hoax.
What?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about how electoral votes work?
You guys are standing here or on this apparatus supporting a human being who wasn't even voted in the primary.
Oh, that old tired argument. I voted for her.
That old argument.
I voted for her. She was voted in by the electors. And I voted for her as the incumbent.
Okay.
She had my vote. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So you voted for her in the primary?
I voted for her, yes. I voted for her to be my president. Yeah.
In what primary election was that?
I voted for her to be my president, Army Ranger. You okay?
I am okay, but
why the fuck is this an argument that comes up from shut the fuck up. Why is this an argument that comes up? I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Shut up. Why is this an
Maybe for a
argument?
communist in a-
Excuse me. Exactly. Shut up for a little bit and let me
You
finish
shut
what I'm
up.
saying. Shut up, Army Ranger, if you even are one. Stolen valor.
That's the first thing you all
Stolen
say
valor.
about a fucking veteran.
Stolen valor.
I'm disconnecting him.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
you can
been
throw
long
him.
enough. We've had so many conversations with him. I think it's done. I think we're done with that.
Yeah. Why is that
Yeah, I did
always
mute him there.
as I was going to say, why is that always an argument that comes up from Trumpers as if they care if a Democratic candidate is being installed? They're just trying to like but isn't that against the Constitution? No, this is the first time this has ever happened. They could have had a primary, and do you know what every other possible eligible candidate did? They endorsed Kamala and got the fuck out of the way.
I remember I heard like people trying to talk about RFK, how they just threw him out, but we all know that that's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And the thing is,
you-
like a counter argument I always make to this is like, if Donald Trump were to step aside or be unalived, J.D. Vance would be the Republican nominee, whether they like it or not. And no one voted for him.
Yep.
Okay. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
And make an executive decision as well. All right. What is his name? Jim. If you want to sit there and keep chirping down in the fucking comments, but yet I called you out earlier when you had your your requests on. I requested you up. You refused to come up. Then he changed it and turned it off like the little pissant that he fucking is, and keeps chirping down there
Jim,
about
you
me.
turned your invites off? What happened?
And by the way, I called him out to sit there and have a one-on-one debate with him, and he's still a little bitch down in the fucking comments. And guess what? He will not freaking communicate with me when I freaking at him specifically. He doesn't talk to me specifically through like ats. He just sits there and tries to call me out in the comments without an at. So you know what? I'm calling you out as a little fucking pussy. All right?
Hell yeah.
You're a little fucking pussy. If you want to have a fucking one-on-one with me, I'm willing to fucking do that. Otherwise, we're gonna fucking mute you for the entirety of the live, you little pissat bitch. All right? So get up here or shut the fuck up.
Hell
you
yeah.
pissat bitch.
I didn't even know that word was even allowed on here. PUSSY.
Do you see his reaction?
I thought they'd take you down for that.
Let's just get a couple of people up here.
There's this person here. Hold on. There's was it Neville Bell 99? He's Nevin Bell 99. He's been begging to come up for some reason.
I had him up earlier.
Did you? I didn't even know.
No, not earlier on this, but earlier today. I've got like a lot of people in the box. Oh, one of these is Nevin Bell. Here we go.
Yes.
Okay,
Hey.
so you just for the record, everybody coming up, you're gonna wait your turn, and I'm gonna introduce you. Okay.
That's fine.
Anglo historian. How old are you?
31.
Pronouns?
Ham.
Huh?
Sorry, we can barely hear you.
Ham.
Ham.
So like the male version, he him.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And I assume you're actually in the UK.
I'm from Denmark, but yeah, living in the UK.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you support Trump from your seat in the UK?
No, I think both candidates are equally awful.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna have to drop you just because engaging in a both sides bad argument, somebody who isn't even in the nation, just really isn't worth it for me.
Okay,
I apologize.
Okay, that's fine. All right, you have a good one.
You too. Well, that was oddly cordial for having to drop him. I guess that's what the UK does to people.
Right.
That wasn't a MAGA reaction, I'll tell you that. Nevin, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm 26, he, him, and my bad. I was in my car earlier. That's why
I
Gotcha.
I got in, I waited a long time, and then I got kicked because the sound was just horrible. So
Yeah, yeah.
but now
I
I'm not.
remember now. It was very bad. Yeah. I assume you're voting for Trump.
So yeah, I mean, I'm leaning that way. So I've grown up with two very conservative parents, and I've always, I guess, been more conservative. But I also tend to call them out on their right wing propaganda. But some of it, I do agree with. So I think if I had to just vote today, I would probably vote Trump. But yeah, I mean, I just had a couple questions and some things I'd like to discuss.
Sure. Yeah. Ask your questions, sorcerer.
Okay, I guess the first one, because in your live earlier, and you were talking to someone about, I guess, no children are allowed to get gender surgeries.
Yeah,
But I
actual
believe, and I think it's a PBS article or it's some sort of article.
reassignment surgery. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, I guess you cannot do that when you're underage, but you can take hormones with parental consent. And I don't know if, I guess you might not be able to get the surgery, but you can definitely take hormones and you can start, transitioning that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's correct.
And I don't agree
do you
with that, I guess.
Okay, so do you understand that there has been several studies that have proven that hormone blockers have nothing negative when it comes to redevelopment in later years? Do you understand that?
I guess I don't really know the science behind that, but I assumed if you were taking testosterone.
Okay, no. There's
I don't know.
hold on. So there's nothing as of basic. So it depends on which state, but anywhere from 8 years old to 12 years old, hormone blockers are what is happening to individuals that are underage, specifically the age of 18, that are being taken by individuals, and it's not the same thing. You understand that that's not the same thing, correct?
So, I mean, I haven't really looked into what exactly you take, but I assumed if you were
hold on. So you don't know what is all enveloped in the whole situation, but yet you're willing to sit there and vote and have an opinion on it?
I mean, I guess,
Okay,
I
do
should
you
probably get more
understand that
educated, but I assume
so do you understand that as of myself, that is somebody that is a part of the LGBTQIA and is very well versed and educated on the fact of what gender affirming care is, and understanding that to be able to support my LGBTQIA plus community, that kind of really fucking bugs me, considering that my friends are a part of the LGBTQIA, I myself are a part of the LGBTQIA. It bothers me that an individual can admittedly not be educated on the fact, but yet be able to the possibility of voting on it.
Yeah, and I apologize for that.
So Nevin,
Nevin, yes.
Sorry. So you understand and realize that you are not educated on it, but yet you're willing to possibly vote on myself and my friends to be able to have the ability of gender affirming care, even though you don't know what it freaking entails?
So the only reason why I say that is because I recently was injured and I supplement with testosterone, and I would say
it's
that
not
if
the same.
you're giving that to someone,
No. We're not having a conversation about the individual person having testosterone due to their own imbalances. We're talking about gender affirming care. It's not the same conversation.
I guess, could you inform me of which drugs? So it's only hormone blockers? That's the only thing that's used?
It is literally, yes. So out of, I think it's 30, I can't remember off the top of my 35, specifically dictate only those from age 8 to 12, and the rest do understand that hormone blockers are the only thing. There is literally no state in the United States that agrees with surgical maneuvers after the age of 18.
Okay, that makes sense. So if you were to take these hormone blockers from the age of 8 to 18, and then you decided that you wanted to detransition, nothing would be affected.
Yes, that is absolutely proven that there is no negative effects that we know of as today, that there is going to be a negative effect when it comes to hormone blockers. That's correct.
Okay. I guess so. My second question, I don't really agree with transgender in sports, especially
Okay,
at
but
least in
hold on, hold on.
NCAA
But I,
level.
I want no. I want to continue with this conversation when it comes to transgenders getting hormone blockers. Okay, I want so
Okay.
what so what I'm really kind of getting at. So also, what state are you from?
Texas.
Texas. Okay, they are actually one of the most stringent when it comes to almost anything, including hormone blockers and transgender operations. So there is a lot of different districts that actually don't allow even surgeries until well after age 18. So there's a lot of individuals that are removing themselves from the state of Texas due to these laws and stringencies, excuse me, when it comes to certain medical facilities. So, what would you say to the individuals that might be transgender in the state of Texas that are literally not able to be who they need and want to be, and actually lessen the amount of schmooicidal or self-unaliving? You understand that those numbers drastically diminish for individuals that are considered transgender, correct? After they are able to get those treatments.
Yeah, I could assume so.
Okay, so what do you say to the individuals in Texas that are not able to do that?
Honestly, it's unfortunate. I guess if you're able to get your parents' consent, then it's fine.
Right.
I guess the
So
bigger
right. So
issue
there,
would
but
be the
there's hold
surgeries,
on,
but
but
I
there
learned that
hold
that
on.
wasn't a
But because
thing.
hold on. So because we do not have universal health care and a lot of agencies don't cover things like gender affirming care, what do you think that the majority of individuals, especially in the state of Texas, would be able to do if they are not able to get certain care that they need to be able to be comfortable in their own skin, on top of a state that is very openly not for LGBTQIA individuals?
Well, I would only assume that they would try to get the drugs off the black market or something. I don't know.
Okay, and do you think that that is a safe endeavor?
No.
No, not at
Well, I
all.
will say
Okay.
it's most of the drugs are pretty safe that even that you can buy from the black market, but that's beyond the fact. I
Can
don't
I
think that's
That's
true.
actually
can
that's
I
actually not
approach
true.
can I approach this argument from a totally different facet for a second?
Yeah, I was trying to get him into a certain situation, but yes, I understand that I'm not necessarily entertaining.
So I always take exactly the same argument that I have for AB with this one, to be honest, which is why the fuck are you worried about what anybody else is doing to their body?
Well, I was trying to get it more so onto an empathetic level, so that way, because there's certain individuals that won't respond to that. It has to be from an empathy side point. I'm it's not my life, so I'll shut the hell up. But that's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, to answer you, I mean, I do agree that, I'm for transsexuals and gays. I really don't care about that. I don't care if you want to, I guess my thing
we
was,
can just say trans
and the
rights.
reason,
Transsexual is definitely not the correct term.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, I mean, I'm for all of that. I guess really my only hesitation was the children, but knowing now that nothing really gets affected if you block. See, I guess I just didn't know the biology, really, the physiology, where if I thought you stopped taking, didn't get testosterone or didn't get estrogen for, 10 years, that would affect you. But if the statistics say that, it doesn't, then I can wave the white flag
Statistics,
on that one.
Yeah, statistics do dictate that yes, you might have a year or so, but ultimately your body functions are not necessarily in any different way.
Puka, you
Yeah,
have your
Actually,
I
if you
chance.
want
guess I
to
don't
get
want to say
yourself
this
some
in
more
a,
in education on it, there's
Oh,
hrc.org.
Jem. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry, Jen.
Yeah,
Give
Jen.
me a
Oh no,
fucking
you're fine.
second.
No, wait. Yeah, Puka, let Jen say what she was going to say first, and then we'll introduce Jim,
Okay.
and you can go on.
Okay.
There's an article on humanrightscampaign.org. It's get the facts on gender affirming care, and it gives you a lot of useful information if you want to go further into it. Besides like the hormone replacement therapy and all that, it gives you a lot of good information. So I would invite you to go there and educate yourself further.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right,
Jim, I sent you an invite
come
to
on.
unmute.
Come on, you little bitch. Let's talk.
Well,
You think I'm not fucking for this? Let's go, Jim.
First of all, I have to do the spiel. How old are you?
Yeah, you do.
45.
Pronouns?
They, she.
Okay, and vote?
Okay, cool. Very, very progressive. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you not screaming like a fucking lunatic like you've done with everybody else who's came up here.
And vote?
What?
And vote?
Trump, baby.
Of course. All right.
What do you mean, of course?
All right,
Isn't
let's
that
go.
why you're
Let's
having
go.
this live? To have
Let's
Trump supporters
go.
up here? Why
Let's
you
go,
surprised?
Jim. Let's fucking go.
Hey,
you
you're
little
gonna
fucking
scare all
bitch.
your
Let's
fucking
go.
crazy cats. Relax with all the screaming. I'm sure all your 50
Come
cats are gonna
on.
freak the fuck out.
Do it. What would you like to talk about, Jim, you bitch ass fucking punk?
Yikes.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you
grown
were
man.
consistently just saying shit about Puka. You were just talking shit specifically about Puka in the
Puka?
comment section over and over again.
What is
Bohemian,
Puka?
you were referring
You
to.
not
What is
read
fucking
the names
Puka?
of people you're insulting in the comments. It's weird.
Do you not
What
remember this
insult did
happened?
I say?
Are you kidding?
Tons of them. Let's go, bitch.
Tons of
Like,
them.
come on.
So
What do you want
many
to
that
talk
you
about?
can't remember.
What do you want to talk about so that way I can dog walk your ass? Let's go.
The main thing is, what's the fuck is the point of having this live where you're going to debate Trump supporters, and half the people that came on here seem like they're on the fence, but then you freak the fuck out whenever they just ask for information or seem like maybe they're misinformed, or
Not
maybe
even
you
close.
might know more than them, and you just freak the
Hold
fuck
on,
out. This is why so many people
Shut
feel.
the fuck up, you bitch ass fucking punk.
This is what you did to everyone else. You're fucking crazy. You are crazy.
I'm talking to the fucking panel. So, panel, did I or did I not volunteer very, 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 very many times to sit there and Google search literally every fucking thing that I even remotely had any doubts about? Okay,
That you did.
Like, so
Yeah, multiple times.
What is
honestly? What the fuck are you talking about? If I'm sitting there and
you're
talking,
willing to Google,
so
what does that have to do with you fucking
He literally
screaming
sat
at
there and
people
said,
that
I
come
want
here?
to learn.
Multiple
many
people have came up
times,
here saying that they
if I
want
sat
to
there
learn.
and I
Like
yelled
the
over
argument.
I
anybody,
said
it was
she
because
came
they were
on here
being
and said
fucking
she wanted to learn.
ridiculous.
All right, well, you
Yeah,
let me know when you're ready
multiple
for me to talk.
Jim, multiple people have come up here and have legitimately learned. We have had legitimate understanding conversations with several people. The problem is when MAGA starts getting a little bit disrespectful, right? Because then we're just going to match energy.
It feels like that's the exact fucking opposite of everything that I've listened to for the last 35 minutes.
Jim.
So did you miss the part where she sat there and said she wanted to learn, and then we did some back and forth with people and actually educated ourselves and other people?
I guess I did miss that part because ever since I've tuned in, I've only heard males speaking or he, theys, or whatever.
Really?
Because
Because you've been on here for quite a while, and I've seen the comments that you said. So you've been here for a while, and you apparently neglected to notice any of that.
Okay, well, if we want to talk about some issues, I saw Gold in the comments trying to say that Biden did not mandate.
And then you pause
just
out and
teacupped
teacup out.
Yeah, the government did not mandate the vaccine. The end. I'll say it again.
And
the
you're
government.
teacupped again.
I'll say it again. The government did not mandate the vaccine. There was never a vaccine mandate from the government.
And if you're
By the
unaware,
way-
we cannot hear you when you're teacupped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go out of
And
the
by
app,
the
we can't
way,
hear.
any and all mods, chime in. Is anybody touching him? I'm pretty sure nobody's touching his fucking box. By the way.
I don't know what the
No,
fuck
I'm not
any of that
touching
means,
them.
but if you're trying to say Biden did not mandate the vaccine for federal contractors and then also try to mandate the vaccine for large companies,
Oh,
so companies
that's
that employ
different.
100
So-
or more people.
So no, federal contractors is different, right? You're working directly for the government. So in the same way,
What
can you
does
stop
that have to
teacupping
do
out
with
real
anything?
quick? Can you just please stop teacupping out?
I'm listening to everything you're saying.
So yeah, so hold on then. Okay, just stop teacupping out. That's what I'm saying. So if you're working for a company, that company has the right to tell you you can't work for us if you don't do something, right? That's just what companies can do, right?
Yeah, but this
So
is
if
the
you're
federal
working,
government,
if
not a
you're
private
working,
company.
if
This
you're
is a
working,
federal company,
yes,
a federal
yeah,
government, not a private
hold on.
company.
This is my point. If you're working directly for the federal government, they also still have that right. The end.
They have how many federal employees are there that were forced to get the vaccine because of his mandate? It's still the federal government, not a private
It's the
company.
federal
You work for
government
the federal
mandating
government
their own
that the
workers
federal
to do
employees
this.
pay taxes to, and they were
So do you
mandated to
think,
take the goddamn vaccine. He
Jim,
also tried to mandate the vaccine.
Jim, you're not just going to rant here, okay? This is a debate, right? You say something, we say something. You got to learn how to do this the right way. You got to chill out, learn how to do this the right way.
All I was going to say, what do you guys think about Facebook and other companies basically blocking information about COVID when it was
It's their
decided?
site, so they can do whatever they want.
24 hours.
Exactly. Bohemians cupping now.
They can a private institution can do whatever it wants, and two, they were only fact checking. They weren't actually removing information. So providing more information is not censorship.
It was also 24 hours that at least Facebook itself gave just to be able to fact check. It was literally not censorship.
I mean, their censorship is nothing compared to this platform. It's like I've gotten my live banned like 5 times in the last
many
month.
times.
That's actually true.
Seriously.
Yeah. If you want to make an argument, make it against TikTok.
I don't know if Jim wants to speak or.
Yeah, it felt like a quick pivot off the vaccine mandate that you guys were clearly wrong about.
Well, I mean, Nevin just asked it.
Prove
There
it.
was another question. What do you want?
But what do you mean? What do I want? You guys are clearly wrong. He mandated the vaccine for federal contractors. He mandated the vaccine for large companies with 100 or more employees.
Okay,
he also
prove it.
mandated the vaccine for healthcare workers. So any institution that accepted Medicare and Medicaid coverage. What do you mean prove it? We're on a goddamn live.
So
Look it up. You just said you're great at Googling, you fucking retard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nope.
You're the one.
Nope. Jim's gone. He's slurred.
Yep.
Sorry.
So
Sorry,
again,
Puka.
So again, if you make a fucking no, it's fine. So if you make a fucking claim, you have to prove it. So you have to give me a goddamn source so that way I can fucking debate it. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing here?
You cannot slur on lives. You just can't do it. Nobody's going to accept it. Everyone will kick you for slurring, except maybe other MAGA lives. Like, maybe it's okay there. Maybe
Even
it
they'll
flies.
kick you because it's TOS.
Right.
I mean, like, if I didn't get my live taken down, I mean, I wouldn't care on my own live.
I see you back in the request box, Jim. Like, that is not forgivable. I can't give you a second opportunity today. You can come back later, like, on a different live. For now, you can hop out of the box.
The next thing I wanted to bring up, if we're switching conversations, would be the border, because that's something I would be more on Trump's side with.
You are on Trump's side with undermining the border bill, then?
So my question with that was, weren't all these contingencies added to the bill, like giving billions of dollars to Ukraine for that to pass?
None
Like,
of that even
like,
mattered. Eventually, the two bills were separated, and it's not like Ukraine was a problem for Republicans because they supported it anyways. That's just an excuse you guys are trying to get out of it to not hold your own leader accountable for undermining the bill.
Yeah, so the original bill did have provisions for aid, but eventually that bill was split into two, which was the provisions for aid separately and the unadulterated border bill that only had to do with actual border provisions. The provisions for aid passed with wide bipartisan support, for the record.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. I guess because I've only really gotten to politics as of recent, what happened to start the influx of illegals back in, I don't know, 2020 or whenever?
Yeah, if you could please undocumented immigrants.
I'm sorry,
Nobody is
get me
illegal.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I might slip up with things like that, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, so what happened to cause it?
Yes. Like, why did it not happen during the Trump administration and then start during the Biden administration?
Does anybody have a particular answer for why it started when it did?
Well, it's not necessarily that it started at one particular time. It ended up being more of a focal point of understanding, and it was exposed more recently. It's not necessarily something that started at one point or another. One, and two, it's not one. Sorry, I'm eating. I wasn't expecting that I was having to talk right there. It's not one
Someone
in
else
particular.
can hop in. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, nobody was
Alright, well,
talking, and that's why I started talking.
Yeah, so
I don't really know why specifically the numbers necessarily went up after Biden took office, but probably it has to do with
It's not.
Donald Trump destabilizing the Latin American countries, because the U.S. has been very bad with that. Joe Biden did something about it, and that's why he got $1.5 billion in
It's not.
border funding from Mexico.
It's the kind of conversation between what is it, causation and whatever the fuck. Anyway,
Correlation
basically,
causation, you mean?
thank you. That's the one. So it's not necessarily. Oh God, there was several other different things that were going on during the time that made asylum higher. But Donald Trump counts those as part of the immigration, and it's not necessarily. Asylum is a part of our constitutional right, and etc. Right? It's something that happens and that we accept. Those numbers shouldn't be put into the tally if we're being understanding and reasonable and accepting of what is allowed in our United States of America. So again, it has to do with the destructuralization of Venezuela and other fucking places in and of itself. And so that number went up, but it was again still asylum seekers, so it shouldn't have been added into the tally. But Donald Trump likes to use that inflated number to skew the whole premise of it.
Yeah, so I usually like to cover this one by saying it is also probably largely attributed to COVID as well. The timing matches
Well, that's
up,
part of it.
and COVID totally destroyed the entire globe, right? America actually legitimately recovered from it much faster than a lot of other countries, so people were rushing in.
Well,
Like, that's
well,
it.
on top of
And
that, there were other economies that were crumbling, different countries that were dealing with mass storm influx. There was again, it's a lot of things to inflate that number, but is again not necessarily a fair number, because it is also very much asylum seekers, which is within our law state. That's what that is about. Like, we agree and we understand that that is something that we have.
it also doesn't help when we have Fox News, that is the largest news network in the world, constantly reporting that we have an open border. That kind of
Right, which
sounds
is
like
not.
anybody and everybody can come in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
I
is
saw
Been to
not.
the border,
Which is
right? Not an
yeah, yeah.
open border.
So also is not fair, due to the fact that Kamala Harris herself got on stage and basically said, "Hey, do not come to the United States just expecting that you're going to be able to come in," because Donald Trump said his stupidity about the open border. So it's like there's this kind of understanding that, like, you can't just come in. It's not a thing. That's not how that happens.
I mean, I hate to bring up personal experience, but I'm from Texas and worked in McAllen and on the border. I don't think it would be super difficult to get in, but that's, again, I don't have any statistics. I know,
Okay,
you
well,
still have to.
okay, so if I remember, it's 10.2 million throughout the entirety of the year, with a shit ton of them being asylum seekers. Also, the estimation from Donald Trump is that something like 60 some odd % are specifically those who are let out by Venezuelan jails, and those who are specifically rapists and murderers is absolutely not a correct thing to say. I mean, we can sit there and go back. Okay, so we can consistently go back and forth with, our feelings, right? But I'm specifically coming back by different databases that are sitting there and telling me actual figures, and you're kind of coming back with me with, I don't feel because I live semi close to the border.
Yeah, I mean that's just something that I've experienced. Look, I'll again wave the white flag on that argument. But something I didn't believe from Kamala Harris was that fentanyl numbers are down when.
Hold on. Hey, I don't. Hey, so I'm not trying to. I personally, if you were in my living room, you could say however you want. But unfortunately, we're on TikTok, so you cannot say that word. Call it
no. Yeah, specifically, no actual drug names.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Say
learning
F
things.
drugs.
So, yeah, I guess F drug. I mean,
F
she
drug
said
is fine.
that
F drug is fine. Yep.
It's gone down.
So
people
actually,
are
recently,
every day 100,000 people have died from that.
Okay, but
unalived. I'm sorry, I'm saying
unalived.
incorrect.
Yeah, unalived. So okay, so none of us are saying that is a false claim. To my knowledge, the FET type drug is actually going down as well. But you do understand the majority of that type of drug is not necessarily going from the lower or southern border. It's actually more so through the northern and also through ports, because it's mostly coming from China. Did you know that?
I knew it came from China. I did not know that it would come from the north.
Yeah, so it is actually coming from the north and is actually coming from more of the ports from China than literally anywhere else. And do you know who is actually making sure that those type of drugs are coming in more so than any other demographic in the entire nation?
I'm sorry. What did you say? Repeat the first part.
Sorry. So the demographic. Do you think that the individuals that are bringing over more of the FET drug is more of a more melanated complexion or a less melanated complexion?
Yeah, I would assume yes, more.
No, actually, that's actually completely false. So the majority of the individuals that are bringing in the FET drug are actually more of a Caucasian perplexion. Oh my God, my brain. Anyway, thank you. Sorry, I have ADHD like a mother trucker. Anyway, so a lighter skin tone, let's say, okay, that is actually statistically factual. The majority of the individuals that are bringing over the FET drug are actually more of a Caucasian
and I would actually add on and say
complexion.
that they're U.S. citizens too.
Majority, a very, very high majority. Yes.
Okay. I mean, again, that's something I'll research just because I don't have anything in front of me right now.
I very much suggest that you should, because it is a very specific thing that a specific side is pushing, that the individuals with more melanin in their skin are the ones that are the most highly likely to be able to commit specific drug crimes and also violent crimes. And we actually have statistics that prove that completely wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't just pull out statistics. So, again.
Ooh, I can.
I guess I'll go with more just an
where do you
ethics
want
question.
it from? Okay. Ethics question being on what?
I don't know. I mean, it's a scientific paper. Well, I was just going to say the other thing I disagree with was having transgender people in sports competing. I would be fine with them being in their own
Wow, you pivoted
league,
so hard it broke my neck.
So very hard. But hold on, I'm willing to have that conversation. What specifically makes you feel like that's not
well?
Okay.
I mean, I don't have the statistics to. I guess what would be. Would it be allowed if you just say you're transgender, or do you need to have certain hormone levels to compete?
okay.
Because if I just wanted to say I'm transgender and I'm a male
I got you.
who's 200
I got you.
pounds,
I got you.
I don't think I
So
should
there
just go
does.
be able to.
Hold on. I got you. I'm willing to answer that question. You ask one question at a time, damn it. Anyway,
I'm not speaking.
Okay, so you do have to have a certain level when it comes to either testosterone or estrogen. One and two, you do absolutely have to be on those hormones for a baseline amount of time to be able to be considered. So that is a thing. Also, there are studies that both testosterone and estrogen does change the body to a certain expectancy level, and that the strength and or quote unquote weakness of a body is going to be understood and respected and all of that in the body to make that difference. So yeah, absolutely. That is definitely a thing. They do regulate that, and so therefore I don't see any rhyme whatsoever for a transgender male or woman to be able to perform in the Olympics. Excuse me.
So, can I give you a hypothetical? Is that cool?
I don't see a reason to, but
depends on what the hypothetical is.
Okay, so I'm just saying. So let's just say, I mean, can you agree that there are like genetically superior athletes out there?
Yeah, that's kind of the point of
like
sports.
LeBron James or something.
Well, right.
Like LeBron
Okay,
James.
so there are individuals that are out there that have more distinct gene systems that make them quote unquote better at certain activities than others. Yes.
So I guess my argument would be one of those, individuals, say LeBron James, gets on estrogen and gets his levels to be what would be valid to, I guess, compete as a transgender female. Do you think that would be fair to have him in a league with other women?
Under 100%, because his estrogen level would be the same and or very similar to the individuals that were competing. And again, I just dictated that there have been studies. If you take estrogen for a certain amount of time, there would definitely be individuals that would be able to be at the same length as others because their muscle mass would differ due to the fact that they've been taking estrogen for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I guess I'm just saying, so someone who's developed like him and is 26 years old, if he starts taking estrogen, he's still going to retain some of that muscle mass and genetics that he had while he was getting natural testosterone.
Hold on, Puka, let me take this for just a second.
Yeah.
This isn't happening. The end.
And I
That's
can agree
my
with
whole
that.
argument.
It's honestly all right. Well, okay.
I could have swore that I was very clear on what that was. I even went into like semi like actual technical terms there.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
you
there are protections for athletes, and also there are those protections for athletes that Puka listed, and also every single match where this might be an issue, all athletes involved are signing waivers saying they completely accept whatever outcome is going to be reached.
Right. Well, but okay, but also that like so somebody mentioned down in the comments about like weight class. Yeah, of course. Whether you're male or female or in like trans or whatever, there is going to be a weight class. That's not part of the whole discussion though. That we're talking about I would assume more so we're talking about like track and field or
it's that and a good example is that swimmer who even her own teammates didn't want her to compete with them. I think she's a Penn State swimmer.
Can you give me a name?
It's a Penn State swimmer. Oh, if you look up Penn State transgender swimmer,
you're talking about Leah Thomas.
Yes, I am.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you think Leah Thomas is one of these examples where she transitioned and then just smashed the competition?
No, she didn't smash the top competition, but if she was a male, she would be in the bottom 1% of. I don't even think she'd have a Division I scholarship. But as a female,
but what is that?
A ranked swimmer. Even though she's not a good ranked swimmer, she's. That's what I'm saying is she transitioned post high school.
She's still an okay swimmer, right? And no, she wasn't bottom of the barrel for male athletes in the sport. So you get this idea from a meme that goes around saying like 270th to number 1, right? That's the kind of rhetoric that's spewed about this particular situation. Leah Thomas won one race at one meet. It wasn't a title race, and the right lost their minds. And that's what happens with every single one of these examples.
Got it. Okay. I was like, hey, I'm willing to like have a conversation about it, but like I'm literally not really seeing a whole lot. And so if that's the case, then yeah, it's not really worth a conversation.
Yeah, it's because there are no titles or anything. It's literally not worth even reporting on. It was for like 5 days.
Tops, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, that's one of my examples, but she wasn't a good swimmer, so it doesn't hold much value.
So hold on. So can I actually address something here as well?
Sure.
So this very much like paralleled the possibility of you thinking that women's sports is not as important as male sports. So
no, I don't agree. I never said that.
No, you're making the assumption that because this is a trans individual that they're not worth reporting on because they succeeded in a female specific swimming division. So
No. I never said that. I don't think women's sports are lesser than men's sports.
Okay, but do you see but do you see how I can make that distinction, that understanding between that?
No, I don't actually.
Okay, well then I don't, because you're trying to sit there and diminish.
How am I saying that female sports are less than men's?
Because you're sitting there and saying that somebody that was quote unquote born male but transitioned into female should not be accepted because it's a female sport. It's specifically a female division.
I have a problem with someone who is 18, 19, 20, who then transitions. And I know it's a probably 1% or even less, but that transitions at an age where they've had testosterone for 20 years and developed into...
No. Hold on. So we've actually had this conversation with others for other conversations. I very much want to make sure that you are understanding and aware that I'm very educated when it comes to LGBTQIA in general. So I know for a fact that there is literally no one that gets testosterone or estrogen after the age of 18. They get hormone blockers until that age, but they do not get other things until much later.
That's not what I was trying to say. I said that had natural testosterone.
No, you said children who got testosterone.
No, okay. Can I just say what I'm trying to say? I'm saying someone who grew up with natural testosterone for 18 years that improved their muscle mass, improved, certain things, that then transitions to a female. She has lasting muscle and she has, things that she wouldn't have if she was taking estrogen for 18 years.
Nevin. I've already told you that there are several studies, and I will absolutely email whatever to you, those links, if you would like them. There are several studies that state that after a certain amount of time, if you are given either testosterone or estrogen, that your muscles very much react to that. And after that amount of time is only when you are allowed to compete in anything. 1. 2, an individual that may have grown up with estrogen or testosterone do make sure that they go to doctors that specialize in this field and make sure that they have upper doses of those things. 1. 2, if you are going to compete in anything, they make sure that those levels are at a reasonable stage and that your muscles and everything is at a reasonable stage before you're allowed to compete.
Okay. Honestly, if you can send me something, then I will agree with you, but at this point, it's hard for me to believe that someone who had all this natural testosterone at 18. Because I mean, if I was in the gym and a girl was in the gym all the way
Okay,
up
but
to
also
18, and
okay,
and
so
then we
let's
stopped, but we
hold
worked
on.
out the
So
same thing every day, I'm going to be way
hold
more
on.
built up than her.
So let's have that conversation too. So there is a certain thing called muscle memory. So believe that me and you, which is not plausible, I'm 130 or 30 pounds, but anyway, again, me and you, we go to the freaking gym. I sit there and I go 5 to 7 days a week, versus you only go 3 days a week. Okay,
No,
so
let's even it up. Let's say I go 5 to 7, you go 5 to 7, and we lift the same things, we eat the same
well, no,
things,
no, no,
and we
no, no.
both
So I
started
want
from
to
the age of
hold
10
on.
to 20. I'm going to be
Okay,
more
I
built
agree
up
with
than
you.
you.
I agree with you, but I want to give a little bit more of a parallel because the individual that is most likely a female quote unquote biological female versus a quote unquote biological male is going to have a different weight regimen due to the fact that male versus female build up muscle at a different rate.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so go off of that. The majority of women have to train 2 to 3 times as hard as the male does because we do make muscle in a different route.
Okay, I agree.
Okay, so that's the parallel I'm making. Okay, so me and you, we go to the freaking gym. I go 5 days a week. You go 3 days a week. You still end up building more of a distinctual muscle mass versus I build more of a lean muscle mass.
Okay.
Okay, so I start taking testosterone and you start taking estrogen. Okay, you're going to puff down a lot quicker than I'm going to puff up, but it is also going to be the fact that I'm going to continually more have muscle mass. Yes?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is also taken into account when they sit there and estimate when it comes to estrogen and testosterone. So this is also something that is going to be in their facts. This is also going to be in their statistics. This is also something that they dictate when it comes to instances like the Olympics. So therefore, they're going to regulate things differently because everybody's body is going to react to certain things differently. Which means that it's even going to be even more fair than any fucking other type of situation because they regulate it so strategically.
Okay. I guess last point I'll bring up is I agree with you then. If that's if that's fine, then I guess I don't know how much testosterone has to do with height or anything like that, or if a biological male gets more growth hormone. Because I mean, there's stature. I know there's weight classes, but at some point there's a heavyweight, and that's just a certain amount of weight and higher. So other than freak scenarios, I mean, women you don't see women that are consistently 6'5" or 6'4", and I know you don't really see that in anywhere other than really the U.S., but there are a lot of males that have that height. The distribution between women who are 6'4" and males who are 6'4" is probably
well, actually,
astronomical.
So I get where you're going with that, but actually when it particular comes to things like the Olympics, the individuals that are competing in almost across the board, whether it's be swim, whether it be gymnastics, whether it be whatever have you, majority of both men and women are on the taller side, actually.
I'll say I was more thinking of I like basketball, so I was thinking like WNBA, but
well, okay, so that's slightly a different conversation, but really not ultimately that much. If I remember correctly, Caitlyn is actually like 6'3" or something like that, and she's like one of the best fucking people out on the field right now.
Yeah, no, she's probably the best player, but the average WNBA NBA player height
Okay,
is still probably
okay,
about
but
5'11".
sitting there and saying that there is like an average or anything when it comes to male or female is very disingenuous, especially when it comes to basketball.
Why is that disingenuous?
Because I just proved to you that well, I gave you one example, but it's pretty consistent that even women are very much on the tall side when it comes to basketball.
Well, yeah, I mean they're WNBA players for a reason. Of course they're going to be tall.
Okay,
That's what makes them better than
so then what you're saying is disingenuous because you're making it very much the illusion that only men are tall when it comes to basketball.
Well, if you take it by like statistic, the average, probably the smallest NBA player is like 6 foot. I don't know exact, but I mean, it's just a massive difference.
No, the good portion, both male and female, are like 6+.
All right. Well, let's just move on. I'm going to give one more question and then I'll get off because I've been on here forever.
Wait. Can we introduce Z first?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh,
sorry,
sure.
I've
I'll
been
shut up for a
sorry.
minute,
My
honestly.
bad.
This
I was taking over that.
long. Z, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. How old are you?
27.
Pronouns?
I identify as male.
So he, him. And who are you voting for?
Trump. Well, I already voted.
How on earth could you bring yourself to vote for him even after all he's done against the American people?
Well, it's kind of like what Nevin was just talking about. You know, allowing men to compete in women's sports. You know.
Never mind.
We already got one of those up here, dude.
Never
Give us something
mind.
else.
He's actually been really loud in the comments, which was kind of annoying.
And of course he was.
Yeah, I wanted to give him a shot, but he squandered it. Now, trans rights are generally something I don't talk about past. Why the fuck do you care what somebody else is doing with their body? It's exactly the same as AB. It covers everything. This doesn't concern you. So either get with it or get out of the fucking way.
That's a really dumb reason to make or break a vote because of someone allowing trans people something. It's like, are you competing in those sports that you're having your competition taken away from you?
Again,
I think
I'm
it's
over
more
that, and it's
so.
not gonna.
Hold on. I think it's more so. Yeah, I mean they're like scared or whatever, but they were so like shitty as a human being that they couldn't like do anything constructive with their life, that they're upset that somebody that like was able to actually work for it got the chance to do it, but they happened to have originally the one different member and probably a bigger member than they had, and like actually changed and was able to like continuously do successful things. They're just mad that they weren't able to be successful, and they want to freaking blame it on somebody else, that the fact that they weren't successful even though they were on the couch the whole time.
Yeah, it's like pretty ironic to the people who call Gen Z lazy or don't want to raise the minimum wage and think that fast food workers is unskilled labor.
Right.
And then Donald Trump can't even fucking do it right.
He had to stage the fucking shit.
Okay, Z wants to try this again. Let's see what else he comes up with. All right, what else you got?
Well, we can talk. I'll talk about economics, son.
Okay,
Sure,
what
what about
economic
it?
policy does Trump push that you agree with?
I like the no tax on overtime.
How is he planning on paying for that?
Well, he just keeps saying he's going to keep pouring in money from all these tariffs and everything he's doing.
Yeah, that's basically going to offset any tax you're not paying.
The tariffs are going to pay for everything, you think?
Well, that's what he kept.
Yeah, basically just more taxes.
So again, how do you? So Z, not again. I apologize. Z.
Yeah.
How do you think, or who do you think that who is the individuals that end up paying for the tariffs? Who do you think pays for that?
Well, the consumer pays a marginal price of it, yeah.
Marginable on what specific things? Because there's so many different tariffs that he wants to raise on. So what specifically would sit there and pay for the no tax on tips? What did he specifically say? What would pay for it?
Well, that's what he said. He said that
No,
if
no,
he.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, no,
Okay.
no,
Give me 1 second because this is gonna go back and forth for a long time. 1 second. Unmute. I legitimately did forget about Jordan. I was sitting there so long after you got in, Jordan.
good.
I'm sorry. How old are you?
I'm 24.
Pronouns
He, him.
and vote.
I already voted for Trump.
All right. How on earth could you have brought yourself to do that?
I have two really big issues. It's foreign
Let me
conflict.
guess.
So
Tax and border.
actually, neither one of those. Foreign policy, specifically with Russia, Ukraine, and then Israel, Hamas, and then abortion. AB.
Okay, so you like him being friends with dictators, gotcha. And
No, it's not that.
and I mean that's what it is. So what do you think?
No, I
it
just
is?
don't like. I don't like the Biden-Harris administration. Like, they give all this
On what?
money to Ukraine, and then like they tell them they give this all this aid to Ukraine, and then tell them they cannot do this with it. They can't do that when they're fighting probably the most evil regime outside of like the Middle East.
So you don't like that there are
What?
restrictions on the funds that we give somebody?
I don't like how many, because they're telling them they can't be offensive with it. They can only play defense, and you cannot play defense and also expect to win, because they're
You're
trying
not.
to.
More so have
This
a problem
is
with
not
the
a
House of
legitimate take.
Representatives.
What do you mean it's not
Yeah, but
legitimate?
they more so have a problem with the Republican House. The Republican House is the reason why the spending is the way it is.
That's
Because
also
Joe
true.
Biden can't really do shit about it, and the Democrat-controlled Senate can't really do shit about it. A spending bill can't be put in place until Mike Johnson brings it to the floor. That's why you haven't seen shit for Hurricane Helene or Milton, because Mike Johnson wants to have a vacation instead of actually doing his job and helping the American people.
I have no problem with like sending them money. It's just we shouldn't be sending them money and then tell them only play defense, and then also we're not gonna let you create a deal to have peace. Like,
Okay, what should we be doing?
we should send them enough money to either they go on offense and take back the areas that they have been lost to Russia, or
Which
either
would cause World War
to
III.
go to. What was that?
Which would cause World War III.
It wouldn't. I mean, they're already starting to take offensive measures now that Biden and Harris have finally let them create more or take more offensive measures. But
So you
or
think
either
that
you tell
so you think they've made the good move that you thought they should?
2 years after the war started, yeah. You should
So
have
you
never.
so
told them
you
they
think
couldn't.
and this is exactly why I'm saying this is a fucking shit take, because it's disingenuous. You don't actually believe any of this. I can sense it. I can sense it in
I
your
believe
voice, bud.
everything I'm saying.
You don't believe a single bit of it. You're just arguing for the sake of it.
No, I absolutely believe this.
No, you don't.
They're finally taking the correct measures now, but it's
Yeah.
2 years and hundreds of thousands of people have.
What do you
been
think?
unalive.
What do you think Trump's approach to Ukraine would have been?
Trump's approach would have been, we give you enough funds. And he said this in a press conference like way back when it's like a really big issue. It's not talking
Can
about
you
as
just
much
answer
now,
the
sadly.
question?
Yes. He said we would fund them enough until we can make a deal, and then Putin would leave and the war would be
How
over.
much is enough?
What kind of an answer is that? How is that literally any different from what we're currently doing then?
Because we're telling them to play defense, but also don't go to the table.
But
to
you
make a
just
deal
said
to
we're
end
not
the war.
saying that anymore.
I have a question. Like, did you vote for Trump because you feel like that your family or friends pressured you to do so that way, or your friends or family would, judge you or something? Because I've been in that situation before. Before I was allowed to vote, I supported Trump because of that pressure. Because I felt like my friends would judge me if I didn't. I'm just wondering if that's with you, because you don't really seem to believe any of the shit you're saying.
I'm absolutely support.
But you
support
came
Trump
up
over Harris.
But you came up here to say that Ukraine how we're approaching it is a problem. We asked what you think we should be doing, and it turns out we're doing what you think we should be doing. So, like, what exactly are you trying to fucking say for this exactly? Like, what do you
with how
want?
they handled it the first 2 years, and now they're finally saying
So,
you can take some offensive measures.
Sure.
And then
It's silly. It's just silly, but I don't know
and
what
then
to tell
also
you. Other
very
points.
big issue with how they're handling Israel Hamas.
Yeah, what do you not like about that?
They're handicapping
Like the fucking
Israel and trying to block them from completing the mission.
Don't anybody jump in. I have to take this. So you think that stopping Israel is the wrong thing to do here?
Absolutely.
Okay, then you're kicked.
What?
Wayne, how are you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Pretty good. How old are you?
25 years old.
And what are your pronouns?
I have a dick and balls.
Oh my god.
And you're kicked.
Hey.
All right, let's try the last person in the box. No fan of mine. How are you doing?
I'm doing A-okay. I'm 33, and he, him, and Harris.
Nice. Based as hell.
Based.
Oh, Jordan wants to come back up. You don't support Palestine, so bye.
The Zionist.
Why are you so anti-Israel?
Why am I so anti-Israel?
Yeah.
Because they've basically raised Palestine. They're treating they're treating all Palestinians as subhuman. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm anti-Israeli government, and obviously he was pro-Israeli government.
I mean, I honestly I think that we should be hands off the whole situation. I think they're both scummy countries. I think we should just leave them alone, let them do their thing.
That's honestly, apart from saying they're both scummy countries, like I can't get behind that. But being hands off in that situation, probably a smarter decision. But also then you're advocating for genocide. So
Right.
we as part of our we're peacekeepers. We literally cannot do that.
And if you're going to be hands off completely, that would mean stop supporting Israel in every way.
It's genocide and inhumane treatment. I don't know if you've ever had to face severe hunger or thirst or medical needs, and then somebody actively tell you that because of your ideology, you're not getting access to those things. I spent 5 years homeless, and that's nothing compared to what is happening to the people of Gaza. So I'm with the host there. I wouldn't necessarily advocate for being hands off if there is a
Right.
possibility of saving the
Yeah,
people.
so I agree with you, and I'm in no way shadowing yours, but to be refused medical care when you're literally having a miscarriage in the waiting room is kind of shitty. That in and of itself, I know there were many people that had to go through that while boom booms were going off ahead, you go through that type of stress. There's very much going to be individuals that cannot handle a pregnancy and will miscarry. So I know that in and of itself would be a horrible fucking situation, because even without boom booms, that was a horrible situation.
It's also just creating, in real time, generational trauma for any children that do survive.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Right.
no coming back from that. People of Hiroshima are still suffering from the effects of what we did. It's absolutely insane that we have not learned from the history. And we have, most of us have, but then there's a massive group on the right that refuses to learn from history and is okay with seeing other people suffer. Because their orange-haired guy says, we should just let them bulldoze it over. It's
Well,
crazy.
can I ask a question?
Yeah,
on this topic.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, I mean, this is a genuine question, educational wise, to learn more about this situation with, Palestine and Israel. So, Palestine, was this this was started from them, right? Did they bomb Israel, or sorry, did they be it, whatever?
Boom boom.
Yeah, did they go boom boom on Israel? Is that what happened to start all this?
People
No,
like to
they
They've pretty
cite.
started
much
many
been
years ago, decades
enslaved for
ago.
years.
Yeah,
Right,
They've been
right.
enslaved for like 30 years.
75.
Even longer. It's like a generational thing. So they fought back. Even I'm more conservative, but like Israel's doing some messed up stuff. So
So
Oh
they
I
yeah.
were
gotta be with
Israel's
the
been doing
Hold on,
Palestinians.
this?
hold on, everybody. W. Nevin, base take.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
agreeing with you guys
I
on this
can't
as
be
well.
on
I'm just
Israel's side.
asking.
The
Yeah, I
best way
just
I've
really
heard it
appreciated that
explained.
answer.
Oh, that was a really good answer. I agree. Best way I've heard it explained to people who maybe don't get the whole picture is if you bully somebody for 75 years and they hire a bigger, badder bully in order to take care of you, how shocking how much apathy can you actually give to them? The whole thing with Hamas, we can all agree innocent people being unalived is terrible, but 75 years of mistreatment and inhumane activity. I mean, hell, we do that in our own country to people, and look what happens.
Yeah.
No, I agree with this. I do. They've been doing this for this long to these people in Palestine. That's really messed up.
Yeah, and they
Well,
used.
but no, also,
Yeah, you can
sorry.
go. You can go ahead.
So also, everybody talks about what happened specifically between Hamas and Israel, but they don't talk about what happened 2 days beforehand to freaking stoke the fire of that. So there was a group of Muslim individuals that were lined up on a wall and pew-pewed down because they were trying to go over into Israel to sit there and possibly have medical care, because they don't necessarily allow the same type of medical care when it comes to Palestine. So this happened 2 days before the attack from Hamas to Israel. So we hear about, what is it, October 7th, but we never hear about freaking October 5th. Nobody wants to talk about that. So yeah, don't fucking stoke a fire that was already ready to freaking go and then expect that there's going to be fire on the other end. Like, that's a weird fucking take to me.
Oh,
Can I bring
100%.
up one thing? What is Kamala's stance on Israel? Because I feel like she
Ceasefire.
hasn't come out like she hasn't been pro for the Palestinians.
Yeah, she.
I don't know if that's her not trying to lose votes, but I don't think I've heard her say anything where she's denounced Israel or done anything like that.
Okay,
No,
sorry,
she just
go ahead,
actually
Goldie.
said that Israel has the right to defend itself, while in the same breath saying that she's calling for a ceasefire.
Her exact quote is, let's see, has the right to defend itself. Palestinians need dignity and security. It is a very kind of centrist type quote, but it isn't necessarily untrue. The idea, it's not about the people of Palestine. It's not advocating for the people of Palestine to also suffer in this war. There's victims on both sides of every war, of every conflict. It is, as the host said, the government specifically. It's these people who are in charge that are deciding these things. So, the people of Palestine definitely deserve security, dignity. They deserve food, clean water, and health care. The people of Israel deserve the exact same thing.
Yeah,
but
for sure. I get it. Sorry. The
No,
last
you're
thing I
good.
said, because I'm getting tired. All this debating's wearing me out. But my last question would be, I know Kamala at first did not support fracking, and now she's changed her mind on that. And I think she was for open borders, even more than like Bernie was a long time ago. Now she's changed her mind on that. And why isn't she? And I understand that you can't just make a decision as vice president and get things changed, but has she not been pushing Joe to do something? And I understand you got to go through Congress and that stuff, but the whole argument of that she's been here for the past 3.5 years, and it took me so long to get a job, and I have experience. I have a good college degree. There's certain things that I've noticed that I haven't liked about how the country's going, and I think that's why, a lot of people don't like her. And you guys have made a lot of good points, but I think that's what's getting people into the day is why is like her argument was because Donald Trump's running against me when they asked her, why haven't you made any changes in the last 3.5 years? So that's what I don't understand. And that's what's really got me wanting to vote for Trump despite all these flaws.
So the
Okay,
U.S. is a
hold on.
check and balance. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So what was that quote that you just said, Nevin? Sorry, because I wanna correct that if that's a possibility.
Yeah, it was. I think it was that she's been in here for the past 3.5 years, or why haven't you done anything? She said because Donald Trump's been running against me or something like that. Unless you're talking about a different part.
Nope. Trump has been.
Yeah, I feel like this very easily could have been in relation to the border, and Trump stopping the bill, but I don't know that for sure. But I would have to know the context, what the actual question was.
So the border thing, just to touch on that, Nevin, we have to go back a few more presidents. Obama had a net negative, meaning that he was deporting more people than that were coming in.
I'm sorry. Could I interrupt without being rude and cutting you off? I apologize. My question was why it's not just the border that I felt the country's been in decline from inflation, from me, and again, I guess the job and unemployment's gone up, but me and a lot of the people I know have had struggling getting jobs, and just a lot of people think the country's going in the wrong way. And she's been in an office, like, why would things change and turn into a better direction, I guess?
So we had a global inflation rise because of the pandemic, and out of the entire G7, the United States recovered the fastest and the best, and that was under the Biden administration. We are still under Trump's tax plan, and it has incentivized mega corporations and people with the most financial power to pay their lowest level employee the least amount of money. They can keep their profits up and their overhead down by making sure that they're not hiring more people while being able to sit there and complain and blame foreign companies and infrastructure and factories. The reason why it is so hard for the average American these days, such as yourself, even with a degree, to find work is directly correlated to the damage he did. And it's not just the damage he did, it's the checks and balances, it's the fact that he appointed people who are the majority of Congress Republican, the majority of the Supreme Court Republican. And that's the reason why not much has changed under the Biden administration, because he is fighting an uphill battle. And before you say it, make no qualms about it. Most Democrats are not in love with Biden. We don't think he's infallible.
Can I
get that. Or I don't know who's talking, sure.
Can I say something about what you said about you had the fastest recovery under Biden when he got in office? No fan. So if you go look at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics,
Biden, by the way, just make that clear. I'm not crediting that to Biden. I'm only giving the timeline.
Okay, I was just going to say, because if you look at their website and you look at the chart, you would see unemployment rate. You would see that in 2020, it rose to 13%. But when Trump handed it back in 2021 to Biden, it was at 6%. So I would say, yes, Biden got it down to 3%, but Trump.
What happened in between the two? What happened globally?
The pandemic.
And what was going on as far as the pandemic was considered, as far as helping people make sure that they stayed fed, and what we incentivize as a country.
Well, if we're talking about the pandemic,
Oh, Nevin, you have a
that's Nevin.
Is there an echo? Oh, sorry, I don't know what that was.
Nevin, if you just swipe out of the app and then swipe back in, it takes care of it. But anyway, go on.
Okay. Sorry. Well, and I'm not trying to argue. I was just saying when I was looking at that, like for the pandemic, I get what you're saying, but between both of them, it affected both presidencies.
Well, it affected only the last year of Trump's presidency. And he spent that year, it's an old adage, he'd spent that year feeding Americans a stolen apple with one hand and a poisoned apple with the other, telling people to use bleach, ivermectin, that it's fake, it's the China virus, all this division and nonsense, while also...
Oh, and he's gone?
Oh, he left. Oh, I think because of the echo, he'd probably come back.
Okay. Can I take 2 seconds to sit there and say that I have nothing whatsoever when I Google because Donald Trump has been running against me, Kamala Harris quote? Like
Yeah,
nothing.
I looked for that too on my laptop. I got it in front of me. I've got nothing.
So I'm gonna state that that's not a true quote that she gave.
On that note, good fact check. No fan. I really I like your style. I'm impressed with how you've approached a lot of the answers you've given. Just want to say that. Also, I think I have to go to sleep, y'all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed too. I'm gonna go to sleep as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna head off as well.
I will be back live Friday for sure. The usual set 9 to midnight. I might start a little early, but who knows? That will be my usual one-on-one. Come back, check me out. And other than that, thank you all for joining in. Thank you all for providing a very reasonable panel for a pretty long time. Actually, it took a while to get there, but we got some reasonable people in here.
I hope I did all right for the conservatives.
Yeah,
Well, I hope your friend's doing okay, Goldilocks. I hope your friend's okay in the bio.
Well, you have to vote for Kamala in order to do all right.
Can I give me and Zevin a quick little resource that maybe will help them before the live ends?
Yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
guys want, you can just type it into Google. It's keywords. You can type in factcheck.org, Trump. I would recommend just doing that, clicking on that, and going through the list of his final numbers at the end of his everything from his economy to the border, everything that you guys are talking about. Give that a read, and then maybe reconsider your stance.
All right, I appreciate it.
Have a good one, everyone. If you haven't followed, you got like one more chance to do that. And join the Discord server. The
I gave you a
Discord server's
follow.
in my bio. All right, sweet. And I will try to follow you guys back as well. And have a great night. And until next time, just stay golden, okay? Just stay golden. That's if there's one thing you can do for
Peace
me, it's
out.
that.